Like I said, I still have vivid memories of, I don't know how many times I helped push a car in the snow.
I usually just barrel past them on the road.
No, this was like a car that got stuck in the snow, so I had to help whoever's driving to push the fucker out of the snow.
Yeah, nobody push out of the snow. I got a chain, I make them pull it out and put it on themselves.
But you know, there was a couple times when we pushed cars out of the snow, when it was like, we rolled the E20 and like, bing, the car just like, whee, went right out of the pit. Just like, how the hell did we do that? Was it that one little 10% of extra push we gave? Yeah, probably.
I'm good to go whenever you are, Cobb.
Yep, I'm hip.
No, whatever. I've been waiting all day.
I have little headphones if you want me to put them on. I don't think there's any problem with echo on my end. I don't really think so.
Yeah, it's usually hard.
I'm not hearing any.
I'm not. I got my lawn noise here. There's too much background noise in my house.
It's all good, Clark. It's all good. I enjoy seeing your animals get in the way.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's one of the things I miss right now. I have no animals around me. They're all dispersed. And my duck is almost ready to fly. She's been flapping her wings furiously and running and flapping her wings.
Hey, do you
Ready
guys
to check it out?
You guys remember? Didn't we stop just after the fight was over?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Giant fell in the water, and there we were.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I didn't think I'd go get my headphones out of the car here.
We searched out the giant, all that shit. Fucking roll, stupid shit.
Hey, Boris, I noticed last game, I think you forgot yourself, unless you're different than me, but we both get 2 attacks per round.
I never had multiple rounds in contact.
Oh, I didn't, because I was like, I should have been able to hit that sucker twice. That was my oversight, so I forgot he went up.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember having 2 rounds consecutive during that fight. Because I went across the water toward him and he ran back to you guys and then I came back.
I get 2 attacks per round.
Plus catch up.
Oh. I get 2 for 3, I think it is.
That's right, you're not specialized. I forgot.
You ain't special. All right. This is episode 54 of the World of Skell-Ghosts. And we are live on Facebook, and we will be not live on YouTube on Friday. But I will say, with a channel that no one watches, we actually gained 1 subscriber from somewhere, I don't know where, up to 53. So there's some random bit of nobody gives a shit for you.
There you go.
And here in the Midwest, we are having a freezing rainstorm that is causing the roads to be slick and dangerous. My car being all-wheel drive is fun to drive in the snow, so I didn't have any issues at all, but there were other people that were. And it's good to be home and out of the cold. And I see all of you are as well. So, unless anyone has any announcements, I'll give a brief recap on where we stand. Uh-oh. What'd you say, Brad?
There'll be a bake sale out front afterwards.
The group was heading south after defeating the evil Cobb, and they traveled for a day or 2 when the dreaded one on the random wandering monster showed up and as a group they failed their charisma checks, which meant it was not going to be the greatest encounter for them. And as it turns out, they came to, as you can see by this map that I'm pointing to, my players can't because they have smaller screens, but those of you watching on Facebook can see the map. The road leads up to a swift running stream / small river, and on the other side was a giant. At least they thought about crossing until a giant popped out from behind this rock, this boulder, and speaking its tongue, none of them understood that, and Bart decided he was through with any of that and cast a spell, and the fight was on. And the giant moved forward, and some of the characters moved forward, and after a pretty hefty fight, the giant was defeated. Poor Paco, the squire of Guy, was severely injured by a random rock fall by these rocks over here that was triggered by a simultaneous monkey. And Bart had unveiled his dragon scale armor that Pikel had recognized because he and Bart had traveled together previously and had encountered this dragon called Blackout. And so that was a first appearance of that armor. And so now the fight has just ended. The giant is laying in the water, and even though and he has been searched, and whatever was found was found. And I think there were some healing spells cast at the end of last game to bring Paco up to consciousness, and the roll dictated that he was able to carry on without being incapacitated. So the gods favored Paco and the casters of the healing magic on him for some reason. So that's where we stopped. So unless there are any edits, additions, or modifications to the recap, it looks like Brad's got his hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bart's going to take I don't know, about a 4-foot swath of the giant skin.
Okay, well hold on. That's. I was going to say, if anyone had any modifications or edits or clarifications that they wanted to speak about the recap or any, I dealt with some rules clarifications over the week online, so everyone should be current on that. And other than that, then hearing nothing, I guess we'll go ahead and jump into the session. And Bart, first thing that you guys see is that after the healing is done, Bart digs out his, I don't know, what do you use, Bart? Just a dagger, or do you whip out a sword, or?
You use my dagger.
Okay.
I don't have a sword.
And go ahead and paint for me a demented picture of you doing what you want to do with this corpse.
Right.
Like, give me some descriptive flavor text for our other players to capture their imagination.
I'm taking my knife out. I'm taking about a 4-foot by 2-foot piece of skin off of it. Just lay it off.
What the hell are you doing?
Where do you take it? Which part of the giant?
Probably from the side.
Okay.
Whatever you get to. I'm not gonna crawl up on you.
His hide is tough.
Yeah, it is.
Brian Brown in chat in the comments says, it sucks and I'm still at work. What's up? Oh, I'm sorry. He said, what's up first.
Hey.
So,
Howdy, Brian.
hello, Brian. Thank you for stopping by. We always appreciate it. All right, so Pikel apparently sees Bart
You see
beginning
the
to
guy-
slice the
Yes.
flesh,
I'm
and
having trouble seeing you.
First, experiment later on who does. You say,
Paco would go track down his donkey and cart. I'm sure it couldn't have got too far.
I'm trying to see if I remember that. I thought I wrote something down about that, but maybe I didn't. Okay, so roll me a luck check there, Michael. Let's just see. Roll a d30 and add your level to it. Oh, you don't have a d30, do you? All right, I'll do that for you.
I don't think they sell D30s anymore.
You rolled a 17. What is 17 plus your level?
7, whatever that is.
That's 24. All right. So, at first glance, as you start walking back the way you came, you don't see your donkey. Do you do anything to change the percentage chance of success other than just walking back up the trail?
I'll call his given name. Hey, dumbass! Where you at, dumbass?
you got a whistle trained or anything?
Okay. Roll a d20, Clark.
14. In
Okay.
the middle.
Yeah, apparently you wait a few seconds and there's no response, either from a returning donkey and cart or anything else.
Alrighty, I'm going to cast something, but I have to see what this something is and whether I have it.
Okay, so that was the intent of my question. Was, are you going to use an ability or spell to help you accomplish this somewhat meaningless task? But while you're looking that up, let's go to the other players. Are Guy and Boris, if I remember correctly, they were just kind of keeping an eye out while the healing was going on. And unless you want to do something different, if you can speak up. Guy has his hand up.
So Bart is carving a chunk of meat out of this giant, right?
Not me, just skin.
Well, you're carving a chunk of meat out of this giant, right?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, what are you doing?
What I do, what?
What are you doing? You gonna eat that?
No.
He's skinning it.
Why? What?
And it's for some
What?
later on, man.
One of his toenails would make a good shield.
It might.
He says, you need to burn this thing.
Let her out in water. Oh. I ain't moving it.
Well, it's gonna rot here and there's gonna be more giant bones. Then what happens?
We won't be here to see it.
Shad speaks up and he says, I would expect you to say that.
Alright, I found it.
Shad is not happy. He didn't say anything about you skinning the giant, but he's giving you a real dirty look.
No.
And then he'll look at Vanessa and just shake his head.
She's sitting there with, making sure that Paco is doing good.
Oh, okay. And then is there anyone I'm leaving out? Does anyone else, any other character wish to be doing anything specific at this time? Daryl has his hand up.
Once she's aware that Paco is in good health and good spirits, she will attempt to help Paco. Find animal. Yes.
Trying to help if he can stand up and look around. The donkey, the coins.
The coins are in there, but I can find it just by casting the spell. I'll find the spell if you cast it. You gotta locate animal, that's fine too.
Locate.
Chad is watching them all, just shaking his head.
Pico, did you find the spell you were looking for, or you...
Yeah, from I cast locate object.
Locate object, okay. And what, tell me about the spell and tell me what you're trying to locate.
I'm trying to find the spell in the book, but I'm trying to locate my crossbow since that was on the card.
Okay.
Being that I made it, it's pretty familiar with it to me.
Yeah, I would think so. Let's, can you tell me the range of the spell, like how far away something is that it can detect?
It is in here somewhere. I hate dealing with PDFs.
Okay, your
Yeah,
range,
scrolling through.
your range is... The priest casts the spell, slowly turns, and will sense when he is facing in the direction of the object, provided the object is within range. For example, 90 yards for third level priest, 100 yards for fourth, 110 for fifth, so 130 yards. And do you, do you wish to break me off some spell casting?
Alright, he holds up his holy symbol.
What else?
And kind of,
What else do you hold up? Or what else do you have in your hand?
okay, I finally found some. Okay.
And this is all just for flavor. I'm not penalizing you. I'm just trying to create
Well, I had to find the spell.
a more imaginative playing atmosphere. That's all I'm trying to do. You can say fuck you, I cast the spell, and I'm not going to penalize you.
Is there a material component? I don't know. Can't see here.
Lodestone.
Lodestone.
Alright, well, I'll take my... Where's it listed at?
In the main block, usually.
There's the first
All right,
paragraph, and then the next sentence. The caster requires the use of a piece of lodestone. So, anyway, that's all.
Hold on. Okay. I just couldn't find it in this paragraph. Anyway, he holds up his lodestone and his holy symbol. It says, in Dwarven, Father, help me find my stupid ass, because if he loses my crossbow, I'm gonna eat the son of a bitch.
All right, so your spell, you cast the spell and you feel the mana that you prayed for in the morning start to manifest itself in your fingertips, and using the lodestone as a focus, you start to turn, and within range, about 50 yards down the path and just off to the left, you sense what you are looking for. You can sense your unique dwarven crafted crossbow that you've created, and you know that that's where it is.
Alright, that's what I had.
All right, when you get down there, your donkey is just off the edge, eating grass, doing nothing but hanging out. So,
Alright, he grabs his donkey. Yeah. Come on, dumbass.
Easy enough. You retrieve your donkey, and everyone is back together there at the edge of the water. Shadrach has his hand up.
I am going to cast a spell.
I love me some spells. It breaks the game. Keep going.
With plants.
Okay.
I'm going to speak again with the trees.
Are you giving me some jam, or you just cast it and then you're going to ask a question or something, or?
After the death of the giant, and I've seen this stripping of the flesh, you see Shadrach turn and kind of like stumble towards the trees. And the first tree he finds, he grabs it and hugs it. And I start speaking to the tree.
The casting time is 10 minutes, so you're kind of hanging out over there for a little while. But that's cool.
Grab the tree and slump down to my knees, and you see my mouth moving, but you don't hear anything. And my eyes are rolled up in my head.
Okay, so while that's going on, is anyone else doing anything I need to be aware of? Bart, are you finished with your scavenging?
Yeah.
Okay. And Vanessa and Boris just hanging out, waiting patiently, or?
Vanessa was walking toward Peichel to help him retrieve the donkey, and she'll continue to do that.
Okay, she sees him coming back with the donkey in tow after a few moments.
And Boris is just hanging out by the giant. He's looking at that big toe.
I thought you were going to guard Shad.
We're all right there. Shad's right there too.
I know.
Okay, so we'll move to where the casting of the spell has been completed, with Shadrach communing with this certain tree and attempting to weave his way into the mental capacity of a tree. And as fantastical as that sounds, yet it happens. Go ahead.
I'm going to cast another spell while I'm in contact with the tree.
Okay.
I'm going to cast That Thou Art. I'm going to find through my connection with the tree and That Thou Art if I am still on the continent of Skell, and if I'm trying to really find where I am in the world right now. If like a Google Earth map could appear in my head, that's the objective I'm trying to find. So I'm casting Speak with Animals and That Thou Art, or Speak with Trees or Plants and That Thou Art, in the order to really see where I am in the world. I'm kind of like pulling a Swamp Thing deal. If possible.
I like it.
And I will play it out if you want me to.
Objects within a 30-foot radius sphere centered on the caster. Okay, so you see and feel everything sensed by any living thing in the area, and so that would encompass thousands of creatures.
That's not a 30-foot area. Is not big, but the plants would have a long memory or a memory of something. Yeah.
Well, actually, the long-lived plants, like the trees, might, but the regular grasses and things, they're return.
I hugged the tree.
So let's see. So, I mean.
Sorry, it's not catch us.
I want to know if we are where we think we are.
Speak to the tree.
It's going to be hard, but that's really the base of my question is, are we where we think we are?
Okay.
And I think that I can get an answer that will satisfy me.
You hear back from this tree, and where normally when you talk to a tree, you get back a very bland, monotone, tree-like response in coordination with your casting of let me get this correct.
That Thou Art?
With the casting of That art thou.
That art thou.
The voice of the tree has a deep resonance to it. And it feels like that the deepness of the voice is associated with the taproot depth. And that those with deeper roots have deeper voices. And you've never heard or made that connection before until now. And it says, I am where I have always been. You are not from here. Because I have never sensed you before you walked down that path.
In the sensation of the old taproot, how often have the giants been here? Do I sense the giants have been here many times, or was this one of the first times that they were here?
They have definitely been here before, but the times of them being here are almost faded from any type of memory of the rocks and the ground that holds the most memories, because of the idea that the rocks don't change, and if an impression is made upon them, it takes forever for nature to remove those clues that some incident took place, which is a memory of the land. Does that make sense, by the way?
Yes. My other question would be, do I feel that we have moved from where we were to another place? Like, have we moved from the continent to some other continent or anything like that?
The information that you get from everything around you does not feel any different than whenever you previously cast the spell.
If anybody's watching, you would see that Chad has been hugging this tree for probably almost a half an hour. And then he just lets go and falls back. And then kind of like struggles up, pushes himself up, and he's like, we must go to Teela. Let's go. South.
Boris will move to help you.
This guy's got a problem with trees.
Guy looks at him and says, a problem?
Are you okay?
We had a dwarf. We had to keep out of livery.
We must go to the city, I believe.
Boris will help you up. Come on, stand up.
I'm fine.
Okay, so as you all prepare and get ready to resume your traveling, how would you like to get to the other side of the stream? And who is leading this expedition? Who is in front? Someone has to take point on these decision making, so.
Boris, never mind. My hand's up. I'm just waiting for you. But Boris,
okay.
never minds taking the lead. He's a man of the wild, and he's a fighter. He's ready to go. If anybody wants to walk up there with him, that's cool. Usually Guy is close by.
I'm right there with you, man.
I can find a place to board.
That turns into a crow.
Shadrach.
Has Shad turned into a bird today?
No. Because we were traveling. Overnight, I was an owl, but this is a new day.
Okay, so you turn into a crow, you said, right? Okay.
I will fly above Boris and E, but not ahead of them.
Okay. So who is leading and which way, and what are you doing to cross the street? Or do you even want to cross? You want to just walk along the side and see where it ends up? Go ahead, Boris, if you're taking the lead.
I will proceed to swim. Somebody give me a rope and I can help the donkey cross. Do you have a rope, Michael?
Well, I know that wouldn't work. I could cast a spell. We could just roll across the bridge.
It's a little more shallow up there.
Do you need the map to again, or you guys?
It gets narrow at either end of this big ponding, if I remember correct.
I will change.
I was able to walk across there, but I had to swim across in the main part of it.
How about this one?
It's a drift. We can probably get a good drift up there, and with some ropes, we won't lose. We only have to worry about the donkey and the cart, I think.
I will turn off the overhead light to remove the glare.
Yeah.
If anyone has a rope, I can take it over there.
I mean, we can go north or south, and well, oh God bless America. I'm fully armored, so I'm gonna.
Okay then, and then Boris is gonna swim across. Let's go.
All right, Boris starts to swim, and since he has swimming, he has no issues in going 4 squares on his turn. Anybody else?
I go up to where it's narrow and probably more shallow to cross.
I'm sorry, Brad, I didn't understand what you said.
I go up to where it's more narrow and shallow to cross rather than swim.
So you're gonna walk along the shore for a little bit, like up here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like any place that's thinner, the water's a little quicker, and you're not sure how deep it is.
Right.
But it's definitely like it's got some like rapid action drawn on the map, so that's.
I can't fly.
All right, you cast fly. Whoop. I don't know. Hopefully, you guys remember how many spell slots you have left.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
All right. Michael's gonna break out a vial of holy water. He just happened to have sitting on the windowsill for a long time to fit the odd requirements of the spell, and calls upon. I don't know if it has to cast tonight or not. 1 second. I hate QE spells. They're so freaking specific.
All right, let's go to Vanessa. While you're looking that up, Clark, that's fine. Vanessa, any?
That's fine.
Vanessa will wait near the cart and see what Michael's doing. She's going to help with the cart situation.
All right, cool. And last but not least, Dee and Paco. Oh.
He will say, Paco, help me get this armor off so I can swim over.
Okay, he does so. What?
Put the armor on the cart.
Okay, you can go ahead and tell me what Paco does since he's your jam.
Paco will go get his arm, put the armor on the cart, before the donkey gets in the water, if he can stop it, not to try to, like, detain anybody. But Guy will swim at the shallow part and see if he's going to test with his foot and see if it's, like, not too deep.
All right, can Guy swim? Does Guy have swimming?
Yes.
Well, all right, that makes it easy. So you just start to swim, and then when you get to the middle, like Boris, it's not as shallow. And then when you get past that, it turns a little bit more deep again, and then you continue to swim, and you don't need to make a check
Is
for
it
that.
above my head?
It's like where you're like, if you stand on your tippy toes in the water, your head is like just barely sticking out. So theoretically, for like a smaller person, they would have a trouble, but for a human size, anybody like 6 foot or more, they would have trouble, or they wouldn't have any trouble. So
That's how I gauge my beach swimming. If I get out to where I have to like tippy toe and suck air, like that's where I stop.
all right, what about Paco?
Paco will stay with the donkey in the cart.
All right, so back on the other side, we still got Pikel, Vanessa, and Paco, and the donkey.
Chad will at least land in a tree where the people are trying to cross.
Okay, so
Watch.
even though this is Shadrach's figure, we're going to assume that it's a crow, because I don't think I have a crow figure. I think
Oh,
it's...
you're fine. That's good. That's better. You
Alright.
I
For whatever
think,
reason, I have the spell, so...
I think the crow figure is with you, Jason.
You got there's birds and little tiny animals.
I got a set of like familiars. I think there's like
Yeah, it was like little teeny tiny animals. I was like, what?
It's a good way to kill time.
Like I need to paint castles. That little teeny tiny.
Pikel, you got anything yet?
Alright, so there's no requirements on day or night, so he's gonna take this vial of holy water he happened to sit on the windowsill a long time ago for no particular reason, and smack it down and cast Moon Bridge. And say, Father, give me a way from to to fro, and smash it down, and a bridge of white, shimmering light will go from his feet to the other side of the feet, which is less than 120 yards, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
So a bridge of 3 foot wide bridge of shimmering light will appear, and we will lead that donkey and cart across it.
Okay, so that was pretty good. Okay, so a shaft of light transforms into a translucent bridge. Paco looks at Pikel for approval, and then begins to lead the cart, or the donkey in the cart across if Pikel lets him.
Yeah, he wouldn't make any complaints.
It's obvious that Paco is trying to help the donkey.
Sure.
Oh no, Michael's not a grumpy dwarf.
What is Paco's alignment?
I'd say Paco's probably neutral good.
What is Pikel's alignment?
Lawful good, I believe.
And what is Vanessa's alignment?
I haven't had to look at that, but I think it's neutral good.
All right.
Neutral good.
I'm chaotic. Oh, shit.
Well, you're flying anyway.
Yeah, you're flying. Boris and Guy are swimming.
So it's 3 foot.
Vanessa will follow the wagon.
All
and
right.
if it looks like it's real close to the edge or anything, she'll give it a nudge.
Yeah, the bridge is 3 foot wide, and as Pikel, you can say if you want to, In my mind, I'm thinking that the bridge kind of extends out and then begins to continue to extend as people start to walk across it until after they're about halfway across, it finally touches down on the other side. Just because I think that's cool looking. And
sounds fine to me.
the moon bridge, and it comes right from where you are to your desired point of ending.
Just straight across, I mean, wherever I think I'm there.
And then as everyone crosses, there is no issue. I could have you roll and just say don't roll a 1, but I don't feel like it. So, there you go.
Nice job, Michael.
And all are across safe and sound.
It's good to have Morgan on your side.
Jason has his hand up.
Dwarven.
As soon as the cart gets to the other side, Dee will say, hey, get this armor back on me. Hurry up.
All right. So
He re-armors himself with Paco's help.
unless someone has anything else they need to do, you continue on your journey. Along the way on this side of the stream, those of you that are looking out specifically for dangers, notice that there appear to be obvious markings of something large that has been in this area. Large footprints and chunks of stone and rock that have been busted apart from some heavy force. And there appears to be somebody's dog's having a time.
Yeah, my dog's there having a good time in there.
The
Lost Brand.
yeah, we did. Thank you.
Southward we go.
Thank you, Clark. Okay, so you continue on, and I will have Jason roll a d12 just to see if you can follow up Glushness in action with another Glushness in action. You rolled a 2? Well, that is not good enough. You know I like 1s. So, you travel. The day is coming to a close. You normally make camp once the sun sets and you have that last little bit of daylight. And unless somebody has something they need to do, which Jason and Daryl have their hand up, so Jason had his hand up first. So, oh, nope, he's deferring. Go ahead, Boris.
Okay.
Okay.
Boris is not doing anything in particular, but Vanessa wants to summon Shadrach at some point and call him back to camp. Whenever he's nearby, she'll holler out that she wants to speak with him.
I would say that even if Shadrach was to fly off in any random direction to try and find anything, everything appears to be like quiet and just normal nature taking course. Like you see a fox catch a rabbit and fucking eat it, and you know, 2 snakes fucking shit like that. Nothing out of the ordinary. So at some point Vanessa calls out and Shadrach can hear, and he can go there or not. That is up to him.
Yeah, as soon as she calls my name, I'll land on her shoulder or arm or whatever she's doing.
And Vanessa, you see that this crow has shown up, and as we've previously established, the crow has a distinguishing Shadrach marking about him, and I've already forgotten what it is, but you know it's
Green
Shadrach.
eyes. Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Shadrach, when you're ready to return to your human form, I have something for you, and I would like to cast a spell. So after you're done scouting about, before we retire for the evening, please come and see me.
Right. I'll turn into Shadrach right then. Because I was just, like I said...
And I help him down off my shoulder.
Please.
He's sitting on my shoulder at that point. Oh, okay.
You notice Shadrach has that fucking sheepish grin as Jason did just then as Daryl described it. And he fucking kind of then quickly, Beverly, straightens his fucking jam. Yeah. And, okay, go ahead.
I want to cast a spell. We talked about this the other day. That will create a connection between us that will warn me when you are in danger, if you'll allow me to do so.
If that is what you wish, then I will permit it. But you must know that we are different.
I was just worried about you when you ran off in the maze. And
I know.
I was scared that you were killed or worse. And this will, if I sense nothing, I'll know you're safe. I'll only sense when you are put into peril. Are you familiar with the Sacred Guardian of old?
I touch Vanessa's face and say, you have my permission.
Please accept this as a gift. And I pull out the hooded rod of light. And I show you the twisted handle that symbolizes the blend. It's a polished, honey-colored wood. Let the light of the blend guide you when times are darkest. And I pull the hood back to reveal the light that emits. The light of the blend will be your guide. And I close it and I hand it to you.
What do you hand to him?
The rod of light, the hooded rod of light that I created last week.
Okay.
Continual light bullseye rod is what Cobb
named
it.
I remember that. I'm looking at the spell. It has a material component, so I'm just kind of waiting to see that.
Right.
Go ahead.
That.
Okay, go ahead.
And I then pull. Okay, go ahead.
Well, no, go.
I pull from a pouch a dried rose and pull one of the petals from it, and I hand it to you. I say, place this against your lips. Smell of its fragrance. I pray, heavenly benevolence, hear my prayers. Create a connection between this man and myself to let me know when he is in harm's way, so that I may be assured of his safety. Grant me, O holy benevolence, the gift of the Sacred Guardian. And at that point, he takes the petal back from you, and she puts it in her mouth.
I cast a spell. I cast refresh on the rose and make it fully bloomed and pure.
Nice.
Oh, you gotta break me off a little honey hun with that. Come on now.
No, their eyes lock, and that's all there need to be happening.
Oh, is refresh and Orison?
I'm gonna say it's a first level spell, but I can turn. There's a spell. It's a low level spell where I can make an old withered plant fully viewed. If it's an orison, I'd love. That's why I asked you. I don't have my tablet right now, so I don't have
It
that actual.
sounds like a good orison.
But if
If
anything,
you can't spark, dude, he'll be all over you.
no. I will be full bloom. And like I said, I touched her face when she said, "Will you accept this?" And I was like, "I accept this." So yeah. Chad is completely in agreement with what just happened. And
And that's all I had.
That's, yep. And, yep. If Vanessa would see in my eyes what she needs to see.
I'll begin to make camp at that point.
Chad needs to sleep this time. He won't take a watch.
Okay. What are the watches? Let me see what I have written down here. Watches last time were Bart was first, Boris and Guy. Now Bart, if you're if you need to do your studying, then you need to sleep all night. You can't take a watch.
Okay.
Or be in the reverie for the appropriate amount of time, however long that is.
Right.
So, who's going to take first watch? Boris, okay. And then anybody for a second, a mid shift?
He's morning.
Guy's going to stay on third, okay.
Well, there's only two.
You guys are only going to have two?
He will take, and he'll keep Paco up too. Hey, watch that donkey.
Paco could take a third watch.
No. Paco watches with me.
Well, you can have two. You
Okay.
can have two. That's
I watch
fine.
everybody else.
Okay. All right. So, first thing I'd like is I would like Boris to roll that D12, please.
Come on. It's funny. They're all right here in front of me, but I can never find the one I need. 9.
All right.
I roll. They all feel like they're marbles.
The night goes off without incident. In the morning time, the sound of birds and the forest stirring causes all of you to awaken, or in the elf's case, suddenly begin to move and come out of the deep-seated memories that they rehash in time to try to maintain their sanity with living such extended lifespans. Refreshed after your night's sleep, the spellcasters all go about praying and or studying, and the other people can do whatever they would like, probably just stand guard or whatever their morning jam
How
is.
much time?
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, a couple hours of
I
study.
mean, Chad needs probably about 45 minutes.
Now remember, it is 1
next
hour.
time-
Hold on. Remember, it is 10 minutes per spell, per level of spell. So, like if you cast...
I did cast Windlash, I cast Speak with Plants, and That Thou Art. That's all. That's pretty much 45 minutes. That's like 15 minutes
Maybe
to the
about
top
2
one.
hours.
Yeah, I'm about 2 hours.
All right, so after, does anyone else that's not a spellcaster do anything in the 2 hours that I need to be aware of, or do they patiently just
Yeah.
go about their morning jam? Okay, well let's start with Guy.
He will start training Paco. He's like, fight me, Paco. Attack me. Come on. Do it. So I'm gonna help Paco. I want Paco to be a knight. I want to start training him to fight.
Okay.
So I'll train with Paco. Let him hit me. I'll be like, come on, hit me. Come on. Bang. I'll just parry him the whole time. Come on, hit me.
Sure. Okay, sounds good. Boris, anything from you? Boris is away, so we'll just assume no. And then you spellcasters, unless you pick something different than your default spell list, then you're good on those. Hopefully you still have the components necessary for those.
Yeah, if anything, Chad will gather some more mistletoe if he can. If I need to cast to get more mistletoe, I will do so.
And all of you regain 1 hit point for overnight sleeping. So if you were missing one, and Shadrach, were you missing any?
I'm
No?
good.
Okay, so you did not regain any from your shape change ability.
Just no.
All right, and you can pack up and continue on. And from having traveled somewhat in the past, all of you have been on journeys. You think that you're probably a day or two away from getting down to the port city of Teela, if that is your final destination. You'll certainly have several chances to go other places if you wanted, but
Well, road traffic should be more. There should be more road traffic if we're close to a city.
I would think so.
I would like Pikel to roll a d12, please.
Oh. That'd be true.
7.
All right. This day, once again, goes by uneventfully. You can stop or you can continue on, thinking you might be close, but unless someone can see over the terrain, you're not really sure.
If it's a new day, Shad will turn into a crow until something happens or we make camp.
Well, the dice roll said nothing happens, so you make camp.
All right. Shad will return to human form at that point. I will take
Did
a
you
walk,
see-
but I will.
Shadrach, as you flew about in crow form, you just saw more forest, occasionally seeing small villages and hamlets dotting the landscape with the rudimentary dirt roads and paths that might connect them or may not. You're still very rural. Yes?
I was going to say, I'm looking towards the south to see if there's like a haze of a city.
You think that you're probably going to reach it tomorrow.
Okay. I will do a regular weather check with my normal skill, my proficiency, if I may.
You sure may.
$28 total.
Well, that's a success. You think it's going to be the same kind of day, dry, slightly cloudy, maybe, but no storms or weather events to speak of.
What's the temp? What time of year is it? Is it like late spring?
As far as I remember, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay, and unless anyone wishes to do anything I need to be aware of before you go to sleep, sounds like Brad might have something.
Yeah, I just fabricate 2 belts out of the giant skin.
Fabricate, huh? Tell me how that works.
I'm just making nothing.
That is a high level spell.
It's a 5th level spell, yeah.
Getting into the cool shit, man.
I think this spell, the wizard is able to convert material of one sort into a product that is of the same material.
Hey, Brad, how about I'll read the spell, but then you describe what Bart does and how cool it looks when you do it, okay? So, by means of this spell, the wizard is able to convert material of one sort into a product that is of the same material. Thus, the spellcaster can try to make belts out of giant skin, etc. Magical or living things cannot be created. Quality of the items made by this spell is commensurate with the quality of material used as the basis. If the caster works with a mineral, the area of effect is reduced. Articles requiring a high degree of craftsmanship cannot be fabricated unless the wizard otherwise has great skill, which would then require a roll of a proficiency of the appropriate artistic nature. Casting requires 1 full round per cubic yard or foot of material to be affected. So, Bart,
Yeah.
please, as the wizard starts doing some shit, I'm sure eyes will start to linger their way over to that. What do they see?
I start cutting the skin into 2 pieces, and I start casting a spell. Magical energy surrounds the piece of material, and they start to like tan into leather, and turn into 2 belts.
Chad is going to whisper to Vanessa, if I may.
Daryl?
Of course. I thought he was waiting for you.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
No, it's resourcefulness.
Blasphemy, Vanessa.
It's resourcefulness. He may be able to grant the giant strength to those that wear the belt.
Believe that.
What do the belts, like what, are they, do they look like they're thin ones, like a rope belt, like that thin? Are they wide like a workman would be wearing to hold his tools, or what kind of belt is
I
it?
figured it'd shrink up about half of what I made, so they're probably 6 inches wide by 2 or 3 feet long.
6 inches wide. That is a fucking wide
That's
belt.
what that is.
Look at.
It's like a wrestling belt.
That's like the size of your hand wide. Okay.
Yeah, that's a wrestling
That's
belt.
a dance trick, you know.
I think there's a word for that.
Make them big, and I make we'll fashion some belt buckles out of a couple of those platinum pieces.
All right. Do you have Bart? Do you have any artistic or other proficiency or skill which would aid you in creating something better than a basic belt, or is that what you're going for?
I've got armor, and I've got jump cutting and shit.
All right.
I figured the jump cutting would work with the coins to make them belt buckles.
Roll a
And then my armor still would work for the belts.
Roll a d20.
18.
18. Okay. So the spell definitely makes a belt. You see it form a length and a shape that you desire, and the holes of the belt appear. The the metal pieces that you have that you try to fabricate into a buckle, those aren't what you would definitely, they wouldn't qualify as artistic, simply because that isn't an art skill. And the armor part, well, the belt itself isn't being cured and turned into a tough leather that leather armor is. So that really wouldn't apply either. But it is definitely functional and sturdy. It just isn't what you might see at some type of like an actual leather worker shop that makes these for a living.
Right.
You could tell, but that's okay.
I would look at it and say, why the hell did you just give it to me? I could have made something nice out of that.
You still can. You use what pieces that I made, make it better.
But I can try. Magic to make
Better
stuff.
quality, better chance of spell tap out of it.
Tycho take the advice and help him work it out later.
And Michael, what makes you think that you're going to be able to make something better?
Armor, artistic ability, craft priest.
Do you have a non-weapon proficiency, which would that directly apply?
Yeah, armor.
No, not
I thought he was
armor.
reading them off.
Wait, let's see. Where's all my bloody things?
That worked really.
I would say
Where are my skills? I'm missing half of them.
Your proficiency,
All right.
sir.
Yeah, I got armor, artistic proficiency.
you have artistic proficiency, but what art is that you're proficient in? It doesn't mean you can sculpt and paint and draw and do calligraphy.
Carving, proficient in.
All right. We're just kind of refining and honing in on what these abilities are and what you can do, but that's okay.
Wouldn't it be metallurgy? Wouldn't it be like that?
Not metallurgy, it'd be leatherworking actually, what we need to make them better.
Well, that usually comes with armor.
No, it does not, but that's okay. That's all right. All right, so that just happened, and Brad, you made two. Bart, you made two belts. So there's other. I'm guessing there's leftovers that you gave to Michael. Is that correct? Uh-oh, Bart's frozen. Doop. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, we'll proceed into the evening. Are you doing the same watches? Nobody really cast any spells today.
I take a watch,
Chad
maybe.
watch if that's necessary. He doesn't mind. He's fine. In fact, I will. I'll just take it as a human.
And who's doing the first watch?
Boris.
Boris by himself, okay. And who's doing the second?
Shad
Not in a second.
Shad and Michael?
and both of us.
Okay.
Shad and Michael.
And then the third watch is Guy and Paco? All right. I would like... Well, it's up to you.
Well,
we're back to you, Jason. Go ahead.
Shad wants to talk to me.
All right. So, well, first you gotta roll that D12.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the fun part where your plans get wrecked.
Roll 2 again.
Okay. So, Boris, everything's quiet on your watch. You wake up, Shadrach and Michael, and then during their watch, they have some type of interaction. Go ahead.
Basically, Shadrach wants to share knowledge with Pykel in exchange for knowledge from Pykel. Shad has heard of dwarven spells.
Hold on. Hey, did you want to roleplay this, or do you just want to skip past it? Because if you're going to roleplay it, you don't speak in the third person.
I'll tell you what I want to do with Pykel, and then we can roleplay it if necessary. I want to exchange spell knowledge with Pykel for future. There's some spells that I have on my list that are dwarven, and I still think because of my earth affinity that I would have some knowledge of them, but also I have spells I think that Pykel could use that he's not quite able to use.
Jason,
so I want to share spell knowledge with Pykel.
Jason, that could all, I mean, I know I'm nitpicking, but that could all be where you just approach him and you have a conversation. There's no reason to pre-come on the role playing.
Okay, well that's what I do during our watch. We have a discussion about religion and spells.
So I guess you'll have that later then, because that's what this time is for.
Okay. But that's basically, I will offer to Pykel knowledge.
So Shadrach approaches. Hold on. Shadrach approaches Pykel and says what?
And says, Pykel, I've noticed that you have great affinity with the earth, but I also noticed that you've struggled with certain aspects of your spell casting, and I see your struggle, but at the same time, you have knowledge that I would grow from, and I would offer to you to share of this knowledge while we sit here tonight, and that is my offer to you, and I don't wish to detract from your religion, and I certainly only wish to gain from the knowledge that you might provide me. Is that all right with you?
We're always willing to learn new things. What are you trying to figure out?
There's a certain spell that I've heard of your people. It's called Stone Skin.
Yeah, I think I know that one. I could call upon Lord for that.
If you can provide me knowledge of how to cast this spell, I will provide you any wisdom that I can provide you that you may require. With speaking to plants or animals.
Pykel, as you think about this spell, Stone Skin, it's weird. You can roll me a d20.
It's above the level on that yet, isn't it?
Do you have spellcraft?
No, it's not a skill.
You do not. Okay, roll a d20.
That's Stone Shade.
Roll a d20, please.
Alright. I had a d20 when we started this game. 8.
Okay. You are totally unfamiliar with the spell of Stone Skin. Never heard of it.
Looks like I thought I had my stone spells mixed up.
And I will share whatever wisdom he wishes to take from me.
I can't think of anything on my list right off that I don't know yet. It's druidic. This still has to be on your list, right?
Say that Shad gives him some plant spell knowledge.
Alright.
Can you be more specific?
I don't really know what he can cast plant-wise, or because I mean he's a cleric and I'm a druid, but
why don't you ask him? Why don't you ask him?
Because I've seen you struggle to like make your affinity with plants in the past, and I know how to speak to them,
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't think I want to talk to him that much.
I can control plants, I can speak to them, I can make them grow, I can make them die.
Alright, here's one that's on my list. Could I actually cast Shillelagh?
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh?
Shad corrects him and touches him. Shillelagh. And I'll teach him how to cast Shillelagh.
Okay, that's on my list, but I don't think it's in my... It should be in my range, so I'll ask how to cast Shillelagh.
Shad will pick up a piece of wood and hand it to him and say, here you go. You have a Shillelagh. Know that you can pick up a piece of wood and have a weapon of strength.
What else do you need?
That I don't know.
A shamrock leaf.
I could probably find that with relative ease.
So he walks me through the process of channeling Shillelaghs.
I'll show him the shamrock leaf.
Shillelaghs.
Show him very simply how it's done. And said, this is how you make a magical club.
Okay, depending on how much in depth you get with role playing this out, Jason, I'm willing to give you a 37 token, but you don't have to.
I would pick up a stick and say, look, Michael, this is simple as this. I pick up a stick, I go nearby in some bushes or a tree, pluck a shamrock. I know that they were all over the place in Missouri. There's clover all over the place in Missouri. So unless it's rare here, I'll go pluck a shamrock, crush it in my hand, pick up the club, and then I'll smack another piece of wood and just bam, and say, look, this is how you do it. It's simple.
Okay.
And what?
Remember this. When you're buck naked and you have a little shamrock and a piece of wood, you have a magical club. Remember that.
I'm gonna go make dinner for my son. I'll be right back.
Michael picked up the pocket picks up the shamrocks and sticks them in his pocket.
It's a useful component.
I know sometimes you have to hit things you can't hit without a magical weapon.
No. Stone Skin's a powerful spell and it's dwarven, and I can get away with casting some elven spells, but the dwarven spells I don't cast so easily.
It might just not be something that Mornin's taught me yet.
Oh, you will. If you don't get Stone Skin, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it might be. I think it's a 5th level spell, isn't it?
I know it is, because it's one of the ones I just got.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's way up. I ain't there yet.
It's a very powerful spell. I mean, it's like a bulletproof vest against almost everything.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Who had that? Who had the Stone Skin spell?
Well, Brad and my necromancer used it all the time, because I was like, oh,
yeah,
it's a giant gorilla. I will throw myself at the giant gorilla, and he grabs me, and it's like, nothing happens. I'm like, I'm casting death spell.
Master Kelf might have had that one too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Kelf that used it a lot.
At the same time, if you throw a handful of gravel at somebody with stone skin, you blow all. So, because you get like X amount of stone skins, they're like 3 shots. But if you throw a handful of gravel at somebody, that's 1 shot per hit. Bing, 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 bing.
I think it's based on your level though. It's like two hit points per level or something like that.
It's like your level plus a D6 or some shit.
So versus shotgun, it's useless, huh?
A shotgun would probably negate it. If it hit. It has to hit. That's also the trick.
God.
Jason, do you have pen and paper there? Or
yes.
You want to write down the details about that continual light rod?
If you want to, it'd be better if you texted it to me.
Did you write down the
Alright,
name of it?
But it's not that steep of a... Yeah, it's...
No, it's not. It's not. It's a 60-foot cone.
Yeah.
12 squares. But it's a bullseye, so it's got the cover, so it's not shining in your pocket all day.
No. And remember, a lot of the creatures I can turn into can see and have dark vision and stuff. So
True.
that's why I turn into an owl at nighttime, if I can. So I think we're close to Teela. If we put some boots on, we'll get there.
We should be here there soon. We need to get a...
But just remember that, Pike, Chad is very happy to share his knowledge.
Well, I'm not going to go humping trees anytime soon, but I appreciate it.
You might even think he's being kind of preachy, but not, he doesn't detract from your religious belief. In fact, he respects it. So, like he says, you know many secrets of the earth, and he's very, almost jealous that you have that knowledge.
The blend is cool because it's all inclusive. So I can draw from dwarven spells. I even tried to cast a dragon spell, but I didn't quite have access to that.
Yeah,
but
there's
all different spheres
like,
because it's all inclusive.
What's it was Fated Sun stuff. I have like access to those weird spells. Fated Sun.
Yeah, I've got a minor access to the sun sphere.
It's like that's I got some weird. And that's why I think I can cast them simply through role-playing. But like Stone Skin...
Oh, no.
And Chad doesn't know dwarves. But Chad has some knowledge of elves. That way he can cast some elven spells. But yeah, I would not... Yeah, gnome spells maybe, because I can speak gnome. But dwarven spells, no. And I'm freely... Yeah, I admit that. But yeah... I'd love to have Stone Skin.
I have a few spells that cross over into the combat sphere, but I haven't tried casting those yet.
No combat spells whatsoever, and there's some good
Well, I'm not sure I can use them. That's the thing, because of her beliefs.
If you can cast them on other people. Because there's like, you have spells like Shad has, like Oxen Strength. I can only cast that on myself.
Right.
And a better person to cast it on would be like Guy or Boris, but no, I can't do that.
Right.
So, and you have the same kind of spells that it'd be better if they were cast on somebody else, but they're probably only personal.
I have a lot that are beneficial.
Are you give access to any stone spells or earth spells?
I do have the sphere of all, and it has a little bit of odd stuff in it, but I didn't see... Oh, sorry.
So do you have
I think everybody has all as far as clerical spells, because Shad has all. So.
Meaning all?
All is like the orisons and the basic stuff. Like, speak languages and things like that, but everybody can do it. But, I don't think any of you can cast Thorns or Wall of Thorns or, control weather and shit like that.
I can cast many thorns. I don't think Wall of Thorns.
Can you cast that one that I cast at the fort to put the thorns on Thorn Grove?
I don't think so.
Because that's nasty. That was the one that just the people just rolled on.
Heck yeah, it was awesome.
I felt bad about that. That was just...
Now, I have minor access to the plant sphere.
So you can still speak to plants.
I don't know. I'm making my spell book
I know.
for the past month.
But you're like Shad, you can pick what you want to cast right at the moment. I thought.
That's why I'm making the spell book, and I'm putting them in their spheres so I can even more quickly find a spell that is appropriate for what's happening in the game. That's my goal.
I have like my action spells, the quickies, the ones that are like I can do quickly with easy components. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like
Just trying to organize it.
Windlash. I can cast Windlash. Bam. That's a quickie. That's an easy one.
Yeah. If you decide you want to join in the fray, you know which one to cast.
Yeah, I have my list of combat, scry, and protection. That's my three categories.
I just remembered.
Michael does it with Shadrach, and he shows him a dwarven spell involving stone. And he said he gathers a bunch of rocks and stones, and he starts putting them in a big circle. And he starts describing the spell and how to incantate it, and how to call upon the gods to protect the person within the stones. And he starts teaching you how to cast Circle of Stones.
I don't think I have that in my spell list.
Oh, okay.
I can meld into stone, I can shape stone, and I can fall from the sky. I do have stones to fall. I have a certain degree. I mean, I have a lot of elemental powers, like earth, air, fire, but you have specific dwarven spells. So, but that's no.
Yeah, that was a specific dwarven spell.
Stones from you. In fact, I will check what level is that for you?
Circle of Stones 3.
Third level? Let me check.
I lost it. It is. Well, never mind, I don't have it yet.
I have Circle of Life. Circle of Life.
I just want on our list, though. Hold on, it might be on there.
It could be a spell.
I could swear on the list.
I don't have any circle spells except Circle of Life, whatever that is.
I have Circle of Secrets.
I mean, check out your shit there, Vanessa. You probably got Circle of Life.
I don't think I do.
That sounds like
a Circle of Secrets.
Come on.
Well,
come on.
It's either on the list or it ain't, you know. I just found the spell I was looking for earlier. It's Locate Animal Follower. We could have got your donkey if it was really lost.
Well, no, Locate Animal Follower is like someone familiar. You're getting that one. I think you're getting that one wrong.
I don't know. I'd have to read the details.
I'm worried that Shadrach's a little too familiar with my donkey. We could have found it.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to fly and look for it, but y'all was all running to get the donkey, so I let it be.
Well, he had a master craft work, super engineer crossbow there. I didn't want to lose that.
Yeah, but Locate Object was the same thing. You had the right idea.
Heck yeah.
In fact, it was very specific, so if you had found the crossbow and not the donkey, then we would have known the donkey had run off. Right?
RUNNOFG.
I don't know what that means, but go fuck yourself.
Have you seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes.
The kid. His mama, RUNNOFT. The hog wallop kid.
I can't say. She just run off. RUNNOFT. You missed
That's a great movie. Yeah.
I'll say this horse started turning.
Killed it about a week back. I like when the kid shooting at him when they first come up. I winged me a tax man the other. That's a good boy now. Go get your daddy.
You know that was
you ain't different papers, are you?
That movie was Ulysses. You know that, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Some people don't know that.
John Goodman was a good Cyclops.
That was the American Ulysses.
Yeah, man, that's an awesome movie.
The duck that I show on Facebook is Penelope. That's Ulysses' wife.
Ah.
Because when we were first unsure of the sex of the duck, I was like, they were like, oh, it's going to be called Penelope. So I was like, that's Ulysses' wife. So I said, if the duck is a male, you have to call it Ulysses. They're like, okay. And it was a different girl. It's almost flying. It's starting to fly and flap its wings. I posted a video.
Like and subscribe, guys.
You don't have to subscribe to shit. I don't ask for anything.
Guys, know any bass players looking for a good bass now?
I wish. We've been trying to sell my dad's. We just got rid of his collection not too long ago. Had an estate sale.
A collection of what?
Guitars, amplifiers, sheet music.
Pictures that can help you out.
You can usually sell that.
I'll tell you, I'll get with my brother on that. Thanks.
You might have stuff that's worth a lot more than you think it is.
Well, we got the Ibanez. It's the only thing that's left. It's a decent bass. I don't think it's got the power pickup on it, but it might. And a starter amp in a case, It's a $200-300 guitar at max.
Some people are sitting on old. Some people are sitting on old expensive stuff. They don't know it.
Well, he had an extensive collection, but the estate sale's already over, and that's the only one that's left.
Yeah, I guess there's not a lot of people diving out the woodworks to find out as bass. So the old sound gear basses were nice. With that, with the active pickups are nice.
Mm-hmm. I had one. It was kind of a purplish, bluish, depending on the light, It had a cool color to it, but gave it to my son a while back for Christmas. Here you go, buddy. I wasn't sticking with it. I always wanted to learn it, and I bought it as a divorce present, and it just sat there. I plucked on it for a month or two, but you got to do that all the time, and I just never dedicated the time to it. So anyway, I passed it on to him. He still plays it.
Okay. To be musical, you got to start out young, and that's the truth of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know about Ken Moe?
I've heard of him.
17 years old.
Ken Moe didn't start playing guitar until he had to learn it for a movie when he was older.
You got to be ingrained to it at an early age, or you just can't get into it.
I think it just takes the dedication, no matter what age. You just got to dedicate yourself to practicing, because that's what it takes. You just got to do it.
And
there's several musicians that didn't start until they were older.
I could play the violin, but I was like, I was an instant gratification. I was like, this is taking too long. I'm not learning this as fast as I want to learn it. And it's like, when you're a kid, a little kid, it's almost like boot camp. But once it's in you, it's in you.
All righty. We have one child fed.
That's what she said.
One child fed. Very good. All right. So, I'm assuming the role playing was had, the spells were discussed, philosophies were exchanged, and Shillelagh is now more understood. And
I think even Stone Skin is now more understood by simply not understanding it from him. But anyway.
All right, so we move to the next day. If you were missing a hit point, you gain one back. And you're very sure, Shadrach, that unless something hinders your progress, you're going to make it to the den of terribleness, a city. You've been here before because this is where the man lives. And
Only Shadrach.
Shadrach has his hand up.
Remember what Conan said in that movie? How does the wind ever get in here?
I do not remember that, but it sounds very Conan-ish.
City. He's like, how does the wind get in here?
I texted Brad and said, where you go? This is fun, and no response. So I don't know what. Maybe he ran out of juice or something. But
Maybe it's
so unless someone does something that I need to be aware of, you pack up your belongings and continue on.
Yes, indeed. And there goes Clark.
Dope.
at this point when we get to the city. But that may change.
Alright. So, let's see if anything stupid happens on the way. Boris, roll that D12.
Here we go. Double ones. 11.
Right. So, as you've been walking a couple hours now, and as you come around this curve, the forest opens and a clear-cut area between town and trail appears. And the familiar sight for at least one of you, and I have a map that I will pull out just to refresh some memories.
I'm nervous, Shadrach. I've never been in a big city like this.
But you came from here.
People are gonna point at me.
I thought you came from the city for this.
No, I came from the monastery.
All right. Well, I don't like the city any more than they find it quite fascinating. I visited the temple here, your temple here. It was quite fascinating. They bestowed upon
I am looking forward to meeting the abbot.
I won't go there again.
Why is that?
I don't understand, and that's all right. I was involved with the death of one of their people they sent with us before, and it was the very
Oh, yes. Flaggy.
yes.
I heard about that.
I will not impose myself on the elite here in the city. I think that's
I thought that I might go there quickly, and in fact, and see if they have any literature on the constellations. Perhaps I can seek some knowledge to help you learn more about this artifact you found.
I think if you go there, Vanessa, you won't leave soon.
I didn't hear you. It's hard to hear you right now.
I think if you go there, Vanessa, you will not leave soon. But that is your lot, and that is your place to be. I know where I will be. Seek the largest tree in the city, and you'll find me there.
All right, so you're coming in from this trail over here. It is close enough to the ocean where the smell and the sounds of the ocean, as you look off to your right, you can see the ocean is sprawled out in front of you with big white gulls. Bound to happen.
Hey, Cop. Just so you're aware, it's very difficult to see that map.
Yes, I have up here.
I
Well,
But I'm enjoying the description. I just wanted you to know that it's hard for us to see the map.
It's just really just white and some scribbles to me.
Let me see if this makes a difference. It might not.
Oh, no, it's becoming clearer as I look. Oh, look, I see a circle with lines to it.
We can make out some details, but that did help some.
Did that make a difference
Yes.
at all?
Yes, it did.
It did? Okay.
Point to the coast. Point to the coast with your hand.
This area here,
I can't see. Okay.
and then the city comes to the corner here, and this is all water. This is the,
Excellent. I get it now. Thank you. I see it now.
and
Thank you.
this is the wall here
Yeah.
that leads out into the forest and the countryside, and then there's a gate. And
Put a thing down
gate.
where we are. As a
gate. Well, as you guys are kind of coming down, you were having your conversation, so you're kind of like right in here, and you can see.
You're at the very top of the screen.
Correct. And you're
All
coming.
right.
You're coming this way.
Well, wow.
Before we approach,
Hold on, one at a time. Go ahead, Boris.
well, it's Vanessa. Before we approach, she wants to hold up and cast Cleanse upon herself, and I'm sure you're aware that it makes her vestment all clean and crisp and shiny and new. And then after that, she lifts her hands to the sky, and I beg you, I pray to your holy benevolence to let these people see me with the light of the blend. Let your divinity shine through me so that they are aware that the blend is indeed the source of my power. And I cast beneficence upon myself.
Welly Wellington, let's see. Let's just see about that.
See if I really do, or if I just think I do.
Oh, that is a first level spell, Cleanse, okay.
Yeah, Shan has cast Cleanse many times. That's why she...
Beneficence is also first level.
This spell causes all grime, dirt, and stains to be removed from the caster and his vestments, enabling the priest to present herself to her congregation in immaculate condition. All clothing that the caster wears is restored to its original color. If the caster was exposed to any minor incidental diseases, these are cured, provided they have not already reached a noticeable level. So she quits itching.
Very good.
This does not affect diseases such as mummy rot, rat bites, or lycanthropy. Even wounds are cleansed and infections are purified, healing 1 point of damage, if no cure
Yes.
wound spells had been applied previously. The material component for this spell is a handful of clean sand, which you must pound. Oh. I added the last part. Okay, and then Beneficence.
This is tight.
It is purely verbal, so the prayer that I said,
Yeah. The Beneficent spell surrounds the priest in an aura of mystical harmony and wisdom. All who see her as a holy woman of virtue and kindness, and many are predisposed to treat her in a friendly and respectful manner. The spell gives the priest a bonus of +2 to encounter reaction rolls with most NPCs and creatures. Only those who are sworn enemies of the priest, your race, your class, or what you represent are immune to the effects of the spell. Nor does the spell work on creatures that have no understanding of the priest's position or role. Thus, the spell is unable to affect the reactions of a den of weasels or a group of bandits waiting to waylay the unwary. It can, however, affect the reactions of a group of peasants or a village of farmers, provided the latter are not hired to harm the priest. Beneficence does not deprive those affected of their free will and does not cause them to instantly follow the suggestions of the priest. Their reactions are improved for everyday dealings, not for very unusual events. So,
just trying to make myself more presentable and a friendly-looking individual who shows wisdom and strength and exudes the light of the blend.
Respectability. You're not a monster.
Exactly. She's nervous as she's going into this big city about what people are going to point at her and laugh and call names and things of that nature.
You're high enough level, Vanessa, that people should respect you. At least that's what
Well, this should help them see me that way.
Yep.
It's basically just an encounter bonus.
Yep.
If anybody's disposed to go, you're a beast, instead they're going to be like, she's ugly.
Guy will also...
No pitchforks, please.
No. And Guy will also show himself in full resplendent because his rank and his class, peasants have to respect it. It says so. So if these are people of the Republic, they know what he is and they respect his rank.
how does Guy feel about being ridden hard and road weary and dirty, and then looking over and seeing Vanessa clean and elegant for what she is?
Thank you.
Does Guy...
That's all I can ask for.
I'm curious if Guy has any kind of reaction.
Guy will look over and see that she has become resplendent and look upon himself, and he'll even swell up a little bit with pride, be like, I'm with her.
All right. So, you walk into town. There are several people and possibly merchants, possibly just people bringing in their things that they have in their farms to try to sell in the market or trade or purchase things. And there are 3 or 4 city guards that are patrolling the gate. They don't seem very interested in taking notice of what might be, I mean, if there's anything nefarious being, or any contraband being smuggled in, they don't seem to care. They're just kind of hanging out. And you all walk in, and as Vanessa, people just kind of are glancing around, and she sees the usual, really unusual, as Vanessa has described. She's nervous coming into the big city for the first time, and there are a couple people like kids that are pointing, and their parents are like grabbing them by the ear and trying to keep them from disrespecting the sister. And you see a couple older people kind of nod in acknowledgement, and a couple others bow, and there's several people though.
Smile and greet people.
There are several.
Friendly.
There are several people though that have to crane their necks up a little bit to look. And then there are those people that will react based upon a random roll that you will roll your charisma, and you will add the +2 to your roll, please.
And I'm adding my charisma, correct?
Correct.
Giving me a 19.
Oh, Should I play the sound? It's always fun. She's all nervous and she's looking around, and then somebody's like, where is it? Where is it? There it is. And you hear one guy that's like, oh, hello, God damn! It's Herman, quiet. And he's like, oh, and he kind of straightens and he kind of turns, and then you hear another guy go, what the fuck is, and the other, like, his friends kind of shy away from him, and then he looks around and he's standing there by himself. And Guy has his hand up.
Does Guy notice this or hear it?
Make me a perception check, please. You're rolling a D30 plus your intelligence.
31.
That is a success, so yes, you did notice it.
I'll step towards him. You! What did you say?
I would like you to make a charisma check now. And that is on a D20 plus your charisma.
29.
And then, did you have any kind of mechanical bonus with your
I'm
class?
fully armored. I'm armored, but not... My weapons are not drawn, but I'm fully armored, and I am Guy de Long, so I'm like showing it. I'll step up to this guy, like, what did you say?
Hold on, let me, because it might make a difference here, so let me see.
Well, according to my class, if he is of my culture with the Republic, he basically has to respect me when I step up on him. But
okay.
Yeah, he is flexing on this guy. He's like, what did you say? Peasant.
So it's basically a scene in Deuce Bigelow where he's walking with that tall lady.
Yeah. Depending on his reaction, he is just like right now, he is like up on this guy going, what? What'd you say?
Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Okay, so you get a +3 reaction from anyone of your own culture except criminals and characters who are evil. Okay, so what's +3 to your total? What'd you get?
Well, I had 29, so 32.
Okay. What reaction were you going for when you interacted with this individual?
That he would be like, I'm sorry, my lord, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, with a 31 over 30, you achieve that, and he immediately tucks his tail and bends over and averts his gaze, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my lord. I didn't mean it. I swear."
I will gently put my boot upon him and push him away and turn to Finesse and be like, my lady.
Get your foot off of him.
I already pushed him away and be like, my lady. You deserve more respect than this piece of...
While I appreciate your sentiment, I cannot condone that activity.
My lady.
And last,
Look back.
Please,
hold on.
please don't raise your sword in my name.
I didn't raise my sword. I pushed it over.
I know, I saw, and I appreciate your sentiment. But please, in the future, do not raise your sword in my name or the name of the blend.
He spoke disrespectful of you.
I appreciate it, and I thank you, Guy. I just want you to understand my position.
And I'll look back at the guy and be like,
all right, and then last but not least, I would like, since Brad's back. Brad, roll just a random D30 for me.
Right.
Don't get a 1, whatever you do.
11.
Okay. All right. So, you guys head on into the city through the northwest gate, and you are, for those of you that are familiar with cities, there's a sound that comes from a city that's unlike the smaller villages and suburban rural places. As you look around,
Come on.
you are... Uh-oh. What's up,
My
Brad?
phone's gonna die.
Oh.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm guessing you need a cord and a charger out in your garage.
I've got a charger on here.
It's not like powerful enough to keep it going.
No, let me run it right now.
All right.
Yay! Yay, cat dance. Yay.
So,
I had to unplug my headphones because it was happening real fast.
yeah. So you are, for those of you that have been here before, you notice that the street kind of starts going straight and kind of curving off to the left, and there's a lot of tall wooden buildings that line the streets, and then behind those taller wooden buildings are smaller, what look to be homes. The taller wooden buildings all seem to have signs or placards or some type of identifying things around their doors or on the buildings. There's not a lot of people out in the street. There's a few, but you might have been expecting more, and you don't see the usual assortment of stray animals or chickens or pigs or whatever that, and you also notice that you don't notice very many gardens with these taller buildings. And so those of you that are familiar with cities understand that you've entered into some kind of district where people don't live in the tall buildings. They come here to do a task or a job of some sort. Bart, being the most traveled and world experienced person, you're thinking that this is it's definitely not like the where they make things district, because it doesn't have the smells and the sounds. So this is either like a university type thing, or a lawyer, an accountant kind of place, or that sort of thing. So I would like you to make a perception check, however, for me, and that's an intelligence plus your D30 roll, and you're looking for a 31 or more.
My roll is 28.
Oh, yeah. So, right off the bat, you notice that there are lots of signs indicating that there's coins and banking.
Okay.
And Jason had his hand up.
Are there any prominent plant like big trees or anything like that?
As you look around, occasionally you'll glimpse between the big buildings, and you'll see that there might be like some type of what would they say? Like I'll say like courtyards where there's the buildings, and then behind them there's open spaces that might have some taller trees in there, but nothing like a garden, or like this seems to be more for like looks and a place to relax, and more like not a food garden, but like a there's flowers and things back in there. Yes, go ahead.
So there are visible plants, though. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, I would think every place would have some kind of visible plants, unless it was like a place where the dirt had been stomped down by a lot of
struggling up to the cracks in the stones. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
And Daryl has his hand up.
Can we see any of the clocks?
Let's see. I think I had those marked as these little red dots, which I'm sure you can't see, but there's like one right here. So you guys are kind of coming down the road, and then you see straight ahead. There's one.
Vanessa's intrigued. Oh my goodness! Is that a clock? I've only heard of such thing.
For Clark and Bart, I know that Jason and Daryl were here earlier in the campaign for the description, but you see a clock tower. And Bart, you're familiar with clocks only because in your magical studies and or interactions with academics, there is a need for some precise time measurements, but these things are notoriously non-dependable, and like a water clock is, it works, but it's nothing like we today have, precise Swiss things. However, it's about 50 feet tall, and then in the top where it comes to a point on each side of the tower, it's kind of like squares off at the top. There's a clock face, and it shows the time in hours, like it's 12, and normally it's like 12 hours of the daylight. You understand that clocks, the actual amount of time in an hour changes depending on the daylight of any day during a season. So you're kind of curious if this is something that this takes into account, like what you're used to, or if this is more advanced. And right as you think that, you see several smaller humanoids, and I will just read a description. You recognize their species immediately, but I want to read what the book has to say about them. Okay, where are we? There we go. Okay. They are small creatures, averaging in height like 3.5, maybe 4 foot tall. They resemble small and thin dwarves, but they have two notable facial features. They have short beards that they keep, kind of like yours, Brad, and stylishly trimmed, but they have, and when I say stylish, there's a lot of like curly cues and tiny bows and things that the dwarf, as he's looking at these fucking things, he's like thinking, he can think whatever he wants, but the stereotypical, like, what the fuck, those aren't like tough looking beard adornments at all. They're more like they don't signal anything that you recognize, Pykel, as being significant to your dwarven clan. And they have these great big noses, often fully twice the size of any dwarf or human. So it's you know how the seven dwarves in the old Disney cartoon had those humongous noses. They're like that. Imagine some old drunk fucker that's got that thing, the rosacea on their nose, and it gets huge and bulbous like a fucking tomato or a sweet potato. That's what these look like. Jason has his hand up.
Shad knows what they are.
Okay. Tell the Dungeon Master how you know what they are.
I speak their language.
Okay, but make up something that. Tell me how you ran across them in your past or what have you.
Shad remembers the red nose and the songs and the drink, and that was one of the things early in his life. And he's like, "Yes, I remember them." And he says in their language, "Hello, brothers."
Okay, so all of you notice Shadrach gets excited at the sight of these small creatures, and kind of even Paco's like, and one of them says back in Gnome, "Hello, tall man. We got places to be. Look out. We're going to the Shaved Gnome to cool off from a heavy day of coin making and making these clocks run."
Many blessings upon you.
I actually know gnomes very well.
Woody, please break me off.
Yeah,
Some knowledge, Clark. How would he know?
Remember my backstory? I trained with the gnome.
I don't remember your backstory.
Oh no, I trained with the gnome. Never mind. That's fine. That's a different thing. But dwarves and gnomes notably know each other and dislike each other generally.
Well, the only thing I can tell you is on this continent here of McCall, gnomes are not common. They have had a rough existence, and in the previous game that we played, for those of you that might have been there, you got a tiny taste of what happens to the gnomes in their traumatic experience. So they have unfortunately been the victims of genocide on more than one occasion. Daryl has his hand up.
Tanessa, when she was enslaved, was forced to use a gnome on a stick as a back scrubby. And so she's kind of seen gnomes before too. She didn't want to.
Are you fucking with me?
Yeah. I'm just making up something fun. But she was enslaved and, had to do things she didn't want to do. That could be one of them.
You know what? That's good. Mark down, you get a 37 token for gnome on a stick.
So everybody is impressed by the sight of the gnomes.
And for those of you that don't remember, a 37 token.
By the gnome buff, but,
Yeah, a 37 token grants you a free reroll when you cash it in. So it does not. You can't use it for other people. It's got to be yourself, and you can only have one normally at a time. Okay, so do you guys continue on into the city?
All right, halt. Once we're through the gate, he is gonna be like, hold up.
I stop.
Now, just
where are we going?
Not that it's going to make a huge deal, but I just want to make sure you all know where you are. So, the clock is here. You guys came in here and was walking down, and then the gnomes all came out and they walked back this way.
Hey, Cobb.
Yes.
The funny part is you're showing you
Oh
now.
fuck.
Earlier I saw you pointing at the map, but I always enjoy seeing the face-to-face more than the map. But
that's why Guy was like, hold up, where are we?
Okay, so you came in here.
Can you zoom in?
I can, I think. Let's see.
Hey, that would be helpful.
I see where you're pointing, and I see the city.
Yeah, I can see the lines.
Barely.
But we don't need the planes. If you can zoom in on the city, that would be helpful.
Because, war game-wise, I want to see where the counters are and where we are, and, yeah.
Yeah, man. Now you got it going on. Very good.
Excellent.
Is that good
Put
enough?
Down a counter to where we are physically.
All right, so you came in here, and then you started walking down, and then right here is where the clock tower is, and the gnomes were walking back this way, and we're like, hey! So you guys are just right here.
He's like, hold up. So put a counter there, please.
Okay.
I am anxious, says Vanessa, to see the Temple of the Blend here in Teela.
As she says that, she can. It's obvious that it is the largest building, and it's right there inside this.
Like up at the top of the hill or in the bottom of the valley?
In the circle.
Yeah, right where I'm pointing.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is what is known as the Blended District. And there are 8 smaller towers that surround the larger one. And there's 8 roads that all lead out of the district. And then there's this large tower here that you're not sure what that is yet, but it's just round and made of wood. It kind of reminds you of the fort, the way the fort was built out of wood, but it doesn't look like it's like fortified or made because the top doesn't have a flat thing that you can stand on. It's round. But anyway, go ahead. That's where you guys are. And then right in front of you, where you are, you see this very large inn that looks like it's open and doing business, and it's obvious in the southern tongue. There's a sign out front with some kind of large feline, and it looks like it's made of gold, and it says the Gilded Lion. So if you were in the mood for some food or drink or whatever, that might be a place you'd want to go. And then another tower of unknown thing is right here. Although, if some of you have been here before, you might know what these other towers are for. Go ahead, Shadrach.
Do I see a tree anywhere?
Yes.
A big tree?
I mean, not as big as you had traveled in the forest, but still, like...
You see a black oak?
30 foot tall.
I start walking towards that tree.
Okay.
He's like, hey, where are you going? Where are we going? I have to report to somebody.
Well, the tavern the inn seems like a good place to get information. And I look around at the street signs if there are any.
There are.
Just for any hints of. And I do read the southern tongue.
The buildings all have, instead of there being street signs out at the street, there are signs attached to the buildings at the corners of each street. And though the map shows streets, there are smaller unmarked streets that wind through the city to like neighborhoods and smaller buildings and what have you. These are just the main thoroughfares that I have written on here. And then the green lines, those are all the boundaries of the districts, which they're not marked. They're just, you would know kind of like, oh, if this is where the St. Louis County line is if you were driving up Gravois or something. So anyway.
Gravois.
Well, Michael said to say we need to find a shipyard, a cartographer. We need some maps, some information on where we're going on this island, and we need a boat.
That would definitely be the shipyards.
You also see, as you look, that there are some tall buildings down on this part by the coast, and some tall masted ships down there as well, and you could assume that might be a port.
Looks like we came in the right side.
So, what would you all like to do? You got lots of time left yet. It's not even noon yet today, and you can do whatever you want to do.
Well, Vanessa intends to go to the church, to the temple. Should we say we meet back here this evening at the Gilded Lion?
Sure.
Where the big tree is.
Who's going down to the port, or who's going down to the dock?
Audrey's predicting snow.
Me and Bart, you want to go to the dock?
Yeah, you need to go down, see if you can find a boat or something.
Yeah. Me and Bart go to the dock?
Okay, so that's what you two are going to do.
Let's take Boris with us. Need some muscle, man.
And no one's left yet, so everybody's privy to this conversation. You all are still right there. It's just so go ahead. So, Boris?
I need to get some fresh weapons while we're here at a place that sells them. But I'll go with you guys to the dock first.
He says, I have to report.
Go report.
I'll meet you back here.
Boris looks over his shoulder and, Shad, is it cool if I go to the docks? Are you going to be okay?
You see Shad walk into the tree. That's the last thing you see.
He'll be fine.
That's no day.
I know, it's just...
I don't know anything about that.
Walk into the tree.
You walk in the tree.
Okay, I don't... You're going to have to tell the Dungeon Master how you walk into the tree.
I don't have the exact spell description, but I know what it does.
What's the name of it?
I think it's called Tree.
It is called Tree. I don't know what
One is where you become a tree. The one you're thinking of might be meld into wood.
Tree. I become the tree. I can sit in the tree, and I'm fully aware of everything that happens around the tree. And Shad's just gonna hang out inside of the tree.
Not worry about that guy.
Don't worry about Shad. I'm fine.
Yes, Shad's rooted.
So you're casting a spell, Shadrach.
I cast Tree.
Okay, tree. By means of this spell, the caster is able to assume the form of a small living tree or shrub.
I become a small living tree or shrub next to the tree outside.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have practice?
Well, you guys see Shadrach kind of head over to this tree close to the Gilded Lion, and he starts saying something and moving his hands, and he gets out his holy symbol and pulls a small twig and changes into a shrubbery right next to the tree. And he's gone. All right.
There's no nice knee around.
Although the closest inspection cannot reveal that this plant is actually a person, and for all normal tests he is in fact a tree or shrub, the caster is able to observe all that goes around him just as if he were in normal form. The armor class and hit points of the plant are those of the caster. The caster can remove the spell at any time, instantly changing from plant to his normal form and having full capability for any action normally possible. Note that all clothing and gear worn or carried change with the caster. Alright, so you get to be that for 6 turns plus 1 turn per level. Or less if you wish to end it on ahead of time.
I'm gonna meld with the earth for a while.
Okay, so then we have Pikel, Bart, and Boris, and with the donkey and cart starting to head towards the docks. The journey is sometimes a little winding, like there's no just like straight road that goes right there, and along the way you pass one or two more of these odd round wooden towers. And at one of them, you all notice a band of gnomes working on it, and it looks like there's a bunch of water that is seeping out of the side of one of the towers. And they appear to be working feverishly to try to stop the water from coming out.
Clock tower?
No, this is one of those wooden towers that's round on the top.
Oh, water tower?
And when I say round on the top, I mean like it's bulbous. And yes, you can assume that it's probably a water tower. So somehow this city has working water towers as well, which may lead you to conclude that it might have other inventions and or amenities that most cities do not.
Yes. Okay.
Brad's battery's going bad because he's doing this jerky. All right.
Similar to what dwarves use underground, right?
Oh, what'd you say, Michael?
This would be similar to what dwarves use underground, right? Where they channel water coming, waterfalls, well.
All right, Brad, turn off your alarm.
I'll come back and get a better charge.
Okay.
Okay.
Michael, from where you're from, there aren't any water towers.
No, but we use
But-
underground water. That
Sure,
fall in.
you do have ways of getting water where you need it to go, whether they be naturally occurring underground streams or developed aqueduct systems. So it's not unheard of that perhaps underground dwellers have ways of getting water where they need it to go.
Well, they use it to power shafts and power systems and mine carts and other pulley systems.
That sounds great.
Alright, well, Pyke will try to let his engineering expertise is the problem with the little gnomes.
So just to get this clear, you are going to you're going to go over there and say, hey, if you did this.
Well, I'm maybe a spell. I think I have a water control spell, but hold on.
Well, hold on, Daryl.
Yeah.
So, Michael, how do you approach these workmen who are currently seemingly about they might be getting agitated at their situation? Tell me how you approach this.
I guess I approach it. Hands up. I guess. What seems to be the problem here? Let me see if I can help you out.
All right, this one gnome turns around all red-faced, water soaking his clothes and his little short cropped beard, his little curly Q danglies all drenched and hanging limply. And he looks you up and down and he's mad. And you need to make a charisma check at disadvantage.
All right. 11, 19. So 11 plus 9, 20.
Oh no! Yep. Okay. He looks at you, and he goes, "We got this under control, sir. You need to move along. Public Works has this covered. Don't get in the way."
Well, enjoy getting wet, man. He walks off.
As you say, enjoy getting wet then, and as you turn to walk off, you hear from one of those work gnomes. Fuck you. But then you continue walking with Boris and Bart and the wagon. Boris, did you want to interject in this?
I just was wondering if the whole group was still together or if it was Boris or Vanessa. That's all. Now I know.
As far as I know, we will go to Vanessa next. She starts walking off by herself towards the temple.
Yes.
So that would leave Guy and Paco to give me what they would like to do, and then we'll come back to Vanessa.
He heads for the Citadel.
Has Guy been to this town before?
He knows at least that he can find where the central fortress is.
Okay. So that might take a little asking around, but you'll find your way there eventually. So we will come back to you. So Vanessa, you are walking by yourself in this town. Luckily, it's not that far to get to the beautified outer ring of vegetation that surrounds the blended district. And as you are walking by yourself, I would like you to roll a charisma check with that +2 bonus, please. Thank you, Clark.
Natural 20.
Oh, explode!
Okay, the original would have been 28 plus 18, 36, almost 37.
46.
Oh.
All right. As you are walking towards the temple, you see a man and a woman who appear to be in a heated discussion about something. And the man goes to raise his hand in anger when, upon seeing you, his fist starts to shake. And the woman notices his disposition change, and she looks to see what he is looking at. And they both see this very unattractive, large, oafish woman who, for some reason, in her blend vestments, have struck a chord in them both. And as the man, his eyes well up with tears, and he starts to apologize and talk about how he doesn't know what came over him, but it's a sign that he needs to act better and that he's going to make amends. And the woman begins to cry, and they hug it out, and as you walk by, they both yell, "Praise be the blend." And,
bless you.
And you have made a difference in someone's life at this moment.
Let the light of the blend guide your decisions, friends.
Upon following one of the smaller roads, you pass through the ring of the vegetation, and you see that there is a not a hut, something a little bit larger than a hut, a little taller, maybe like 20 feet tall, made of this dark stained wood that's smooth. It has shuttered windows, it's round, and on the top you see the symbol of the helix, the double helix, as it seems to be spinning in the breeze like a weather vane.
Oh!
And as you approach it, you get a sense of reverence, as if you are entering into some type of sacred ground, something that's been imbued with the holiness and the manna of thousands and thousands of praying individuals and people asking for guidance, and the transactional nature of prayer and divine gifts, and you can almost feel it as if it's all around you.
The astromycelia glows with energy. It surrounds us all and binds us. She's loving it. She takes every step slowly and enjoys. It takes in every detail. She's wanted to see this place for some time.
And on her left, she sees a pond with a statue with actual water that seems to be flowing out of a pitcher that this elven a sculpture of an elven woman dressed in a long dress. The actual statue is not painted, so it's just this weathered stone that is in this pond, and the sound of the water coming out and splashing into the pond is a very pleasant and tranquil sound. And as you walk past it on your way towards the central towers, you look in and you see several blue and orange fish darting about, as if they noticed you and were as if they were waiting for something. And as you walk past, you notice they kind of follow you a little bit until they return back to their random looking for food like fish do.
How wonderful.
And then on your right, you can see some gardens and several monks, but these monks are wearing a little different clothing than the monks that you're used to, and none of them seem to be tonsured, where they don't have their heads shaved in that round fashion. And you notice that there appears to be several different races here. There's gnomes and dwarves and elves, and working hand in hand with gnolls and goblins, and even a big tall bugbear looking dude that's like if you've seen like a Wookiee, this is like the most Wookiee looking motherfucker that you've ever seen. And they all acknowledge your presence just for a brief moment before continuing on with their tending of the garden. And then before you know it, you are up at one of the smaller round towers that encircle the large main temple. And the main temple is probably like 200 or 300 feet across the front or the side that you happen to be on. It's sort of squared off, but it's also round. It's as if each side has a corner, but the next side isn't at a 90-degree angle. So you're gathering that this is kind of an interesting shape of a building. Like you're not sure how many sides it has, but it's definitely more than 4. Just by looking at the angles of it. And the tower, the main tower, the middle one stretches up like 50, 60 feet up in the air, and it ends with a bell. And currently the bell is still and silent, but you know that if it is rung, it probably makes a very loud sound. And
she's heard stories around the monastery about the temple here in Teela, and again, she's just astounded by the architecture and the the lavish display of and the way everybody works together. It's just a personification of what the blend is supposed to be.
There is a small door that is closed. It's very nondescript. It doesn't have any like where they put stuff over the door to make it seem more elegant. It's just kind of set into the stone and the wood. This is kind of a combination building. You can see that there's wood and there's stone involved in the construction as well, as if somehow the stone and the wood was blended together to form the structure.
Nice.
And so you kind of inspect the door, but it doesn't look like it looks like the side door to the temple where you were from at the monastery. It's not the main entrance that has a more regal type, like keystone or whatever they call the sill on the top of the door.
I'm going to make my way around to the grander entrance, the main entrance.
So you pass two more of the of those smaller towers and the roads. Around the base of the large tower, there's a bunch of rock that's spread out in like a 20 feet radius. That way you're kind of walking on rock as you encircle, and you assume that's because the ground is probably couldn't grow anything there anyway because of all the people that walked there. But as you come around the counterclockwise, you notice that there's another water tower, probably maybe 1,000 feet away, still well within the boundaries of the blended district. And then you'll see that there is a larger, more elegant double door that appears to be the main entrance to the temple.
I will enter.
All right, let's move over to Boris and Pikel and Bart. You guys make your way down towards the docks. You've passed a couple of water towers, and then you just happen to walk by a shop in kind of a nondescript, sort of plain-looking part of town. The buildings are close together, and you can tell that it's in the style of where the upper floors of the buildings overhang the lower parts, forming a cover. And this looks to be maybe some place that has businesses that are run out of the basement or the first floor of these buildings. And as you look up at the buildings, there are lots of ropes that cross the street, and it appears like people put out their clothes to dry because these are on pulleys, and they'll put their clothes out, and there's women out there and they're gossiping and talking about stuff, and there's men that are doing whatever odd tasks, building carts and weaving baskets and running livestock to and fro. And I don't mean like herds of sheep and lamb. I mean like chasing chickens and pigs and things that they would keep inside the city walls, ducks. But you notice that there's one shop that it says Weasel's Pawn. And for those of you that none of you would remember or had been this way, but for those of you that were playing previously, that was the shop that Pick used to run, is lock. Like you see Pick's locksmithing, and it doesn't really mean anything to you guys, but of course it's on the map, and it was Randy's, so I just thought I'd mention it. Yes, Jason has his hand up.
Sorry, Shad would remember that.
Well, Shad would. Unfortunately, he's way back there as
No,
a
I know
shrub.
what I can say. Yeah, a lot of the things you described, Shad has been here before.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
So you eventually make it down to where there is a lower, like a 12, kind of reminds you of the forts wall that surrounds the dock area. And as you go to walk through the gate to the dock area, there appears to be no guards there whatsoever. And there appears to be a lot of activity going on in the buildings. And the first thing you notice is there is a ship that is up on the ground there, and it appears to have been turned into some type of either an inn or tavern or something, because you see people not carrying goods and moving things, but they, except for moving drinks to their mouths or sitting around and talking, and it's quite loud. There appears to be a very boisterous crowd here at this ship that is land, up on land. And as you look past the ship, you can see the ocean and several docks that extend out into the water, and several ships that are docked there, and you see people moving product or stowing product onto ships to go somewhere else. And what would you like to do once you, and who, since Bart's not here, I guess it's either Pikel or Boris will have to take the lead here. So
I think Pike will better handle the dealings. Boris is just walking along to look tough. Boris is watching out for any weapons dealer or wood craftsman.
Okay.
Oh, your mic must be off, Clark. I see your mouth moving.
Alright, so Michael's looking for some kind of symbol of cartography, map making, the triangle thing with that general symbol of the map makers, and or just the sign of a map maker, or
Okay.
navigator type
You,
business.
I'm going
or
to
a
say
foreign party.
that though you don't find it, right off the bat, you ask around, and you can see that down to your right there is you were told that there's a cartographer there. And then Boris, you were looking for
Someone that might make boomerangs. A wood craftsman or a weapons sales. Plus, we're also looking for a boat, right? That's why we came to the docks.
You know you're walking with the weapons stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I didn't think we were like at the market, but if there's a craftsman that carves wood, they might be one that would make a boot.
All right, so you get that little tidbit of information from Pikel, and then you look around, and you are told that there's in this dock district, there's or as it's called, the shipping ward. There isn't anybody that makes wood here. You would need to go back to the industry ward, which is, you passed kind of through it, but you weren't necessarily looking for anything there. So
Right.
that's where you're told to go to find someone that might be able to craft you a specialty item.
Cool.
And hold on a second. Okay, so Pikel, you head over to the Cartographer. What do you do when you get there?
Well, approach, knocking the door, going to that doctor first. I'll ask for if he has maps of the southern ocean regions and about information on islands notably infested with giants.
Okay. Let's see. Roll me a D30.
You go ahead.
Oh. A 2. Okay. This particular person, I don't know anything about giants. As far as the islands go, yeah, there's islands out there. There's a lot of islands out there. But can you be a little bit more specific?
Did we get a name of the island before?
We were shown a map.
We were shown a map. Did we get a name of the island?
Bart's like, I don't know.
Any rumors of slavers?
He's like, no, I don't know anything about slavers. I'm sorry.
Intelligence check or memory, because I thought we were given some kind of name. Boris might have known because he was.
Are we?
Hey, the name of the island, you know it?
I'm just trying to save my sister, and Boris leans into the guy. We're just looking to find my sister. We're not trying to buy no slaves, sir. If you can help us, I'd appreciate it.
I know I named a couple of the bigger islands out there. Sure, there's No Stall. There's
I think there were 3 or 4 in a row, a chain of islands.
Sure, those are the bigger ones. Yes.
We have a map leading us to there, but that's where we need to sail to. You know, we have to rent a boat. You know anybody that can charter a boat?
Oh, I would think if you want to do that, you want to go down to the docks and ask around. I mean, if you got a lot of coin, you can get one of these ships to take you just about anywhere. I mean, with what you've just said, it might cost you more if it's dangerous. And if there really is something going on with what you said, they might not want to go at all. But I don't know. And he kind of goes over to a stack of rolled up things and pulls one out and he says, so here, look, this is, and he unfurls it, and it's basically the coastline and then some islands just drawn with, they look like there's topography, but there's no names or other than Nostal and Talos. but there's nothing else. Like, it doesn't show any cities. It's like, as far as I know, that's as much as I know about those islands.
Well, how much you want for this map here?
This one here? Oh, how about, let's see. He kind of looks you up and down. I'd sell it to you for 5 golden coins.
That seems a little steep, but I'll take it. Yeah. You'll pull out 5 golden coins.
All right.
Are the names written on that map?
Yeah.
Okay.
This should help us get a little closer when we go to sail there. So can you recommend a captain? Tell us who to avoid.
Oh, let's see. Hood's a dick. I don't like him. I wouldn't suggest him. I wouldn't give him business if he was on fire. That doesn't.
No, we don't like dicks.
That doesn't mean though that he won't do something for coin, which is exactly why I don't like him. I don't know, man. There's Potter. He's got a good reputation. I don't know how much he charges. I've never been out of Teela my whole life. And then there's Captain Jonas.
Captain who?
Captain Jonas.
Oh, Jonas, I thought there's something else. Alright, so.
But they all spend their time down at their ships, or you know, they might have business in town. I know Captain Jonas, he has a warehouse down on the far right, and he's certainly one of the most respected ship captains that I know of, but he might not want to.
So which one was the dick?
Hood.
I don't know too much about
And what was the other guy? There's another name that was kind of between.
Jonas. Was the
No, it's Jonas. It was between Jonas and him. He's okay. Or kind of.
He's got a good reputation.
Yeah.
I already forgot, but we'll just call him Captain Nick.
All right, Nick.
That should have been the dick.
Captain Joseph? Was it Joseph?
Jonas.
All right, we got Jonas. Respected, may not do it. We got Hood. A dick will do it, but you can't trust him. And you got Nick. He's somewhere between the middle. So you can start with Jonas, work with Nick, and last resort go with the dick.
Guys, like rolls up the map.
Yay!
Thank
The
you.
dick.
Alright, he hands it point over, and that will be our plan.
All right.
We appreciate your help. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate your business.
He was pretty nice.
The
Everyone is coy involved everybody.
map appears to be made with ink and colored ink, just to give some the textures and stuff. And
So it's a little better than the map we had before then.
a little bit, yeah. All right, let's go
The
to
names, that always helps.
let's go to Guy. As he goes around, he finally he doesn't have that far to walk before he finds out that the government ward is very close. Unfortunately, Guy, you end up walking through the cemetery ward or the necro ward. And there's lots of imagery and architecture of the deceased, these mausoleums and gravestones and headstones. And you swear that occasionally you see something out of the corner of your eye, but when you focus and look, there's nothing there. And it's giving you the creeps. And though you have very high standards for being frightened and the fortitude to withstand the creepy effects of certain things, the entire feel, even the ground that you walk upon, is unsettling. It's as if the ground is almost spongy. And sometimes there's this red liquid that you see pooling in places around the dark vegetation. And the whole thing reminds you of what might have been a battlefield and the remains of the dead after a long day of melee amongst two warring kingdoms. But as quickly as you feel uncomfortable and you exit, and suddenly you notice that there are large barracks and buildings that remind you of discipline, and you see soldiers and practicing men-at-arms, and you see a large square rectangular building which flies 3 flags upon it, and you recognize those flags as the flag of the Republic, and the second one showing a ship, the flag of Teela, and then a third flag which you haven't seen yet. It's a blue with a gold field. Yes.
I do have heraldry.
Well, then you should roll it.
Is that my intelligence?
No, if you have heraldry, you got a number for that.
Oh, that's right. My bad. Okay, I got that. Whoop. Hang on. 28.
So this third flag that you see, in the distant past, it was the flag of the Saskrophonian Navy, but to your knowledge, the Saskrophonian Navy hasn't been in existence for some time.
I look for an officer that I can identify as an officer.
Okay. As you approach, a couple guards notice you, and they say, what brings you to the government ward, citizen?
I am Sir Guy de Lance, servant of the Comte de Ludovico of the 3 Towers, and I have come here to report on the situation of the North. The information I have is vital.
Well, Make a charisma check, please, with that +2 or 3 or whatever it is for the culture thing.
32. I rolled 17, sir.
Right.
That's it without the pluses. So 32 whenever the plus, so...
Right this way. And they escort you into the big square building. And when you get in there, you see that there are guards stationed on the outside and on the inside, and then occasionally throughout this very large open floor plan. The inside of the building, for lack of a better term, is hollow. Has a very large inner chamber with support beams that rise all the way to the ceiling. And there are levels on the inside, but all you can see are the balconies where each level is, and each balcony, theoretically, they can stand there and look down into the center. Imagine a smaller version of the Hilton Hotel. And there are, as you look around in a situation, you can see that there's racks of arms and various weapons. There are stairs that lead up to the second level, and probably more on those that lead up to the third level. There appears to be several buckets and casks of various items, which you're not sure. And you are led over to a gentleman, and they say, "Sir, this is Guy de Lance of the Three Bells?"
I'm servant of Comte de Ludovico of the Three Towers.
Three Towers. Do you have any identifying, or do you carry any signage upon your person to signify this?
I present my signet ring.
But you don't like have a shield with the heraldry on it, or?
My shield has the banner of the boar.
Okay. The guy looks at it and he says, "Oh, I recognize that. What's your name, soldier?"
Guy de Lance.
He says, "Guy de Lance. You're one of Ludovico's men, eh?"
Yes.
Well, you're welcome here. He's in good standing.
I'm glad to hear it.
What brings you here this day?
I report from the north of the enemy.
To the north? What enemy do you speak of?
The Achaemenians and the slavers, my lord.
Well, we are aware of things that have gone on, but we were under the impression that the slavers were defeated.
The Achaemenians have landed in force, my lord. Hundreds. I've seen them. And a fortress with which to accept their ships.
This is indeed bad tidings. Who else knows of these things?
My friends, and I will name them. And I name them, all of them. Sister Vanessa, Shadrach Felthorn, Pykel, the Dwarven Priest, Lord Bartholansis, Prince of the Emerald Realm. They have all seen this. I will name them and point them out as required.
Well, we probably don't need their verification. Being who you are, we can understand that your quality speaks for itself. About how many? About how many have you seen?
Hundreds, more than 500, easily, and they moved with no. They moved as though they had no respect. They had no fear.
How many?
At least 500, my lord.
500.
And a boat, and a port.
What do they
and
seek?
A port.
What do they seek to accomplish?
Acquisition of slaves, my lord.
We've had reports of something happening, but it wasn't in the north. It was out in the ocean.
I described the monastery. I will report of my passage to the islands and the mysteriousness of my death. Again, I will say that I believe that the Acharamans have no fear of the Republic and move upon the Republic in the north in force. That is my report, my lord.
Well, we have a standing army of 3,000 troops. We haven't had any reason to send them out after anyone or on any missions.
Does a wolf scratch its fleas, my lord?
Yes.
They take the role of the flea, and we scratch. But they are more than fleas, my lord. The giants are among them.
Make a perception check, please.
What's that?
Make a perception check, please.
Oh. Oh, no. Oh, 23.
All right. Now, was that on a 30?
Yes.
Okay. All right. He says, he points to the map up on his wall, and you can see that his map shows the Republic and shows the old wooden fort that you might recognize as the fort that you guys set on fire.
There, my lord.
Well, we will have to mount an expedition and rebuff these invaders.
Yes, my lord. The green man has much knowledge.
Of course, we'll have to do so at the leisure of the president. I cannot order a such a large movement of troops away from Teela in case something untoward was to happen here and we would be undefended.
My lord, those who I have served alongside, those who have shared my experience, I believe they have much wisdom upon which this may be acted upon. I've named them to you, sir, my lord. I believe they will come if you call them. And we will all serve towards the ending of this discretion, if I may say so.
We all have different masters, Sir Guy. I'm sure you're aware.
Yes, my lord.
I wouldn't presume to order a vassal of another lord to do anything, nor would I order someone who is not in the army, that would be more of them wanting to join a militia if they wanted, or a company of freemen if that was their thing. I appreciate you telling me their names in case we happen to randomly encounter them at some point in the future.
I think their service would be much in the honor.
But the army isn't in the habit of hiring sellswords.
They ask no reward, my lord, nor do I, except the service of the Republic. I can speak for them in this regard.
I say this with the utmost respect, my lord, but you might be used to people taking your word, but in the army that's not how it works. There's a chain of command and everyone has to be vetted. So we can't just take on volunteers willy-nilly. You understand, I'm sure.
My lord, I only request this. An appointment with the president, with my friends.
Well, that you would have to go to checks and petition the president himself or whoever is funneling him information. I mean, good luck to you.
I will return to my friends with this information. Thank you, my lord. Please put this information forward to the president.
I shall. We'll write up a letter and we'll get that information to him as soon as we can. Thank you.
I have a request, my lord.
Yes?
My servant Paco has served me throughout incredible suffering and experience. He has seen my squire Paco more than any normal man could even imagine that the world contains. I request that he be knighted in the service of the Republic. He is an honorable, worthy gentleman, and I fully vet him to you.
Well, once again, I appreciate your sentiment, but I'm not. The army is not the place. You would have to petition your lord, or you would knight him yourself if you were landed, sir. The army is no place for, at least not this army of this city. Now, if you wanted to join the king's army, then I'm sure he could afford to pay a knight and to keep up with a war horse and all the things that entails, but we're not that outfit. No army is ever like that. It's always the king is the one that can buy the best help. And I mean that with the most respect possible, and I think you understand.
Yes, I do. And I will return to my friends with this information. Thank you.
Well, it's been a pleasure. You grace us with your presence. I hope that we see you under better circumstances in the future.
My lord, I serve.
And you are escorted out of the building, shown the way out, and the guy's like, thank you for all that you do, Sir Guy. And you get the direct impression that this guy is like fanning a little bit, like, ooh, a knight, ooh, look at that guy. So, whatever. Okay, and then where do you go?
I return to the Golden Lion Inn.
Okay. All right. So Vanessa. We go back to Vanessa.
So she prays at the main temple for a while until she sees maybe a priest of note, or maybe even the abbot, if she might see him, and she'll present herself.
As she is praying, she feels someone standing to her left. And as she looks over there, she sees a man dressed in the raiments of the blend, but unlike the abbot at at the monastery, this person's attire is resplendent. It is colorful and very fine quality, with stitching and embroidery and colors and tassels, and a sort of a hat that's kind of like almost square on the top, but it comes to a little point, like he's wearing like a miniature version of some kind of temple or tower or something. And upon his lapel is a very large embroidered double helix. And then hanging from a belt, a chain around his waist, is also another chain connected to some type of worked metal double helix that he absentmindedly is holding and occasionally spins like a fidget spinner long ways. And it kind of glints and forms different sorts of colors. And he looks at you not with disdain or judgment, but he has these eyes that are pleasant and welcoming. And he says, "Arise, my child. You have journeyed far, and your story has reached my ears, and it makes my heart glad to see you here, Sister Vanessa." And
greetings. I'm so glad to be here. I bring news from Black Rock Monastery. She gives the respectful bow of the head, you know, the whatever is deemed appropriate for his level of investment.
okay,
Is this a human individual?
it is. Okay, there it is. I'm just getting the names correct. Okay. He says, "I am the Praetor," and you recognize the Praetor as he is in charge of the judicial rights. So he has a lot of influence in making the decisions upon what actually goes on in the temple. A very powerful individual. He says the proctor is not present currently, and he will be saddened to know that he was not available to welcome you upon your arrival as I have.
You honor me.
You honor us, and you honor the blend. What brings you to our fair city this day, sister?
I bring greetings from Black Rock Monastery and the Abbot Patrick on behalf of the blend. I bring praise and the light of the blend with me, and I bestow it upon you. And she makes the gesture of the hands from the chest and the opening, just an official type greeting.
He does the same.
I also bring news of saddened times and slavery. The Acaramans to the west have been trading in humans and others for some time, it seems. Is there anything that you might be able to tell me? Is it true that giants rule a series of islands to the south? I'm told they are the buyers, and I've seen a vision. The blend has shown me the evil that threatens our church and our way of life that we hope to spread. I seek to travel there.
Rumors have reached our ears of such a thing. With them being so far away, I cannot confirm this to be true. I would hope that it's not. But then again, if they would accept the blend as the blend accepts them, then we must accept them, for that is our way.
I see the light of the blend in your statement, but we must also show bravery and point out that they are enslaving people. We can't accept that part of their culture.
No, we cannot, because that infringes upon the rights of other believers.
All free-thinking men and women.
So if that is the case, then we must pray and come up with solutions, if possible, to this problem. Correct?
Indeed. I'll go to the basin of holy water and dip my hand in and wash my hands and let the water run over my face. I don't mean wash my hands in the holy water. I mean to scoop some up.
He comes over and takes a sash and dries your hands off if you allow it.
I certainly do.
And then he says, do you think it would be possible to convince the giants that there's a better way? Or are they of such a nature that they cannot be convinced and they must be removed?
The vision that I saw was pure evil. The master giant brooding over his human slaves in cages. And I must be honest, Praetor, I escaped from slavery. And I'm trying not to let my personal bias enter into the actions that I take, but it's not always easy.
Everything is a test.
I hope that I am strong enough to at least convert some of them. I know that the one evil and vile individual doesn't represent the entire giant class. And the only giant that I've actually witnessed or had dealings with that I can recall was most recently, a couple of days ago, just outside of Teela. We were beset by a giant of stone, it appeared. Nearly 20 feet tall. My companions and I were able to slay it.
Was it a case of if you did not stop the creature, it would not...
I don't think it would have yielded. He threw stones and killed one of our group, nearly killed, but the essence of the blend through my hands breathed life back into poor Paco, and he is now whole again.
The blend will provide a way, though we may not see it now.
I've been studying my holy scriptures and trying to immerse myself into every detail of the stories so that when the time comes, I can call upon the legends and the lore and the power of the blend to aid me in the appropriate fashion. Your warm welcome is very gratifying. I'm so happy to be welcomed here. I'm sure if you've heard stories of my travel or my plight that you know what to expect when you see me, and many people will judge me just from my appearance, but it always warms my heart to be welcomed. And that's what drew me to the blend.
The blend believes that all are to be judged on the content of their character, not on their appearance. You are living proof and an embodiment of our holy sacrament. It is you that will provide proof to the non-believers. It is you that will convert all those that refuse to see and it is you who may be the only one that can bridge the world of the giants and the world of the Republic. Are you ready for such a challenge?
It is a heavy burden, but I am prepared to carry it and spread the light of the blend.
Do those that you travel with, do they understand how being brought into the grace of the cosmic omnipotent benevolence can help them?
I think so. They're not all stout believers in the blend, but many of them share my sentiment. I think our group itself represents the blend. We've got an elf and a dwarf and myself, and we've got a couple of humans, a druid and a barbarian. It's quite eclectic. But they're dedicated to the cause
Do any of them resist?
Not at all.
What
You
about?
mean resist the blend?
Yes.
No. Not that I've noticed, not that I've witnessed.
I think it would behoove me to tell you that if you are able to convert any of the people either you interact with or travel with, and it is a true conversion to our faith, you will rise in the eyes of the blend. Not because it is a payment, but because it is the right thing to do. And so
That is good to know.
in reputation you will rise. Now the more cynical members of our hierarchy they believe that even that should not be a practiced doctrine, because reputation could be a form of payment. But that is a debate for ecclesiastical scholars to have, and not one who must make decisions currently like I do. And you may have to decide that on yourself, for yourself. But don't trifle yourself, youngster, with those types of questions. That is an area of study that is best left to more advanced scholars.
As you wish, Praetor.
Tell me, do you enjoy being at the monastery?
Not always. I do enjoy the serenity and the efficiency and the way that they help people. But the mundane duties do bore me.
So
I have enjoyed traveling.
You enjoy the adventuring, do you? Has Abbot Patrick infected you with his wanderlust?
I suppose the seed was there, he merely nurtured it.
Well, feel free to look around the temple.
It's been my pleasure meeting you. Did he give me his
He
name?
did not.
He said he was the Praetor.
Correct.
And I will bid you a good day, Praetor. It's been my honor to meet you.
He puts his hands together, moves them in kind of a circular fashion like this. May the blend guide your journey, and may the giants see what you have to offer. And in that moment, you think to yourself, I need to make a wisdom check.
32.
You realize that he could be referring to your actual lineage. And what
When
that,
he said what?
when he said, well, fuck, now I don't remember what I just said, but it was something like, go ahead, Jason, you're muted. What did I say?
You're good. Go ahead.
It was something like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to rewatch what I just fucking said, so I don't know.
Sorry. Sorry, it was when he was talking about the giants.
Shad's meeting with Vanessa. That's what I'm waiting for.
All right. So, Vanessa, what do you do after?
It was me being the bridge between the giants and the...
That's what it was. Correct.
Yeah.
And you think you think that he might be referring to your ogreish bloodlines.
Okay.
But there you go. Okay.
And she will, after giving her due respect, she will linger a little bit around the temple and then make her way back to the Gilded Lion before night falls, for sure.
Okay. So everybody makes it. Well, let me ask Boris. Do you end up going? You and Pikel end up going to the crafting district?
Were we going to pursue the ship more first, Pikel?
No, we'll just pick up find the ship and parts available next session. This time take a little more RP than we have left.
Yeah.
All right. So where
I would like to buy, if we can quickly do, if somebody sells boomerangs, I just want to buy some fresh weaponry because Boris has, after being enslaved, lost his cool weaponry. Then he made a crude bow, and he just needs to gear up.
I think Boris needs to roll a luck check to see if anyone would have a boomerang here, because it is not a common thing. That's for sure. You're rolling a D30 and add your level.
Okay, the level. That's not too bad. 33.
Okay, well, you check out a couple places, and there's wood carvers, and you explain the thing, and they're like, what? And that doesn't make any sense. Then you go to the weaponsmith, and he's like, what do you mean? No, that's a bow. That's a miniature bow. No, that's not it either. But then you see someone in this little shop that's got like a boomerang hanging in the window.
There it is. That's it.
And so you go over there, and there's some lady there with long blonde hair that's braided and pulled back into a ponytail. It's like real long and it's kind of frizzy, and she's got these freckles and blue eyes, and she's like in her mid-20s maybe. Probably, good house, good wife material, if you will. And she's like, how you doing today, fellas? Mr. Dwarf?
Good.
Then she looks at Bart and goes, Your Honor? And Bart's just like, dude.
Is that for sale?
Everything's for sale here. That thing?
He grabs it.
Okay. And then she's like, I don't even know what that is.
It's a boomerang. From where I'm from, we use them for hunting. I one time hit a squirrel at 100 yards.
She starts, I want you to make a charisma check, please.
Hey, that's pretty good. 30 even.
Do you have any kind of ability or thing that might change that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. The
No proficiencies.
barbarians don't have some kind of thing because they're all
against the
intent or
opposite
whatever?
sex. I don't have that information on my sheet. I do have the Barbarian Handbook, but I'm going to have to dig it out. Dig it out of the computer, find out where it is here.
Come on, charisma check.
Yeah, it was 30. Boom, no, not that one. I think it might be a +2 to charisma checks again for the opposite sex.
Well,
but
maybe you don't have it because you're a kid, and that takes precedence over what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because I think the thing I'm thinking of is like the Conan style of barbarian versus the fucking Gilligan's
That might be the
Island.
swashbuckler jam, because Reginald had that.
I
So
figured Red the swashbuckler.
so she's like I don't know what's that even worth? It just looks like some weird carved piece of wood that doesn't fit anything.
How many have you got?
Just that one.
Hmm.
It was here when I bought.
Yeah.
It was here when I inherited the shop from my dad, so I just stuck it there.
I have a hunting proficiency. I have the crude Fletcher bowyer proficiency. Can I attempt to look at the thing and see if it has any? Hell, it might have markings from my tribe. I don't even know, but it might be well crafted.
Roll
It
a
might
luck.
be a piece of
Roll
crap.
another luck check. Let's see.
Oh, that one's not near as good. Plus, what'd you say? Plus?
Luck plus your D30.
Intelligence?
I mean, and no level plus your D30.
Oh, level. That's it. 12.
Well, that doesn't even say how much it costs.
I couldn't find it in the player's handbook, but I'm sure you have other.
Let's see. See if I can find anything.
And if they sell other weapons, then I'd like to stock up on another hand axe and a couple more spears, but I can just do book price on stuff if they have it. If not, well, by golly, I'll pick them up somewhere else.
Shopping cart. Boo.
All right, she asked you how much it's worth.
Boo.
Well, I just found some of these on a giant that I was killing. And he pulls out 5 copper pieces.
Boo.
5 copper pieces. Okay, she's like, sure, that's fine. Nobody knows what the hell that thing is anyway. Done. She takes the 5 copper.
Thank you.
I was thinking just gonna pull out one of those platinum coins.
I don't have any of those.
That's
Vanessa's got them.
what I was thinking, so that'd be funny.
That's awesome. Now I have a boomerang. Something I'm good with.
I
Or
got
better with.
10 things. One yes.
Well, maybe you still can. Now that you see what I need.
A stick. Why do you want a stick for?
I'll show you.
Sword.
That's a
I can kill a rabbit or a squirrel or a pig.
We're fighting giants. What's that gonna do?
Well, that's all I've got to say about that.
Okay,
We
we're-
know Chad can speak with Vanessa.
Well, we'll head back to the inn. It's getting dark.
everybody meets back at the inn, and it's dinner, and it's supper time. So there you go. And Shadrach, you're aware that everyone's returning, so you can. Your spell's about ready to run out anyway, so.
That's fine. Chad will greet Vanessa, and if she sees him, his eyes are gray with a red pupil and a green iris, and he just looks at her and says, "You know, don't you?
Know what?
You have to make a choice, don't you?"
Of course, don't we all? What have you been doing?
waiting.
What have you learned?
What have you learned?
I was so surprised when the Praetor welcomed me with open arms and said he'd already heard of our plight.
You're surprised?
Yeah, a little bit. It was nice to be welcomed, and the temple was everything I thought it would be. The beautiful architecture and the ponds and gardens.
Very beautiful, wasn't it?
What's that?
Very beautiful, wasn't it?
Yes.
Would you stay here?
It's hard to hear you, Jason.
Would you stay here?
No. This is not... It's lovely to visit, but this is not where I belong.
I know.
I dream of the North
I know.
and rebuilding a temple.
Yes.
Perhaps near your artifact.
Yes. But first we must defeat the slavers and the giants.
I know they're not all bad. Just as with every race, the few ugly individuals don't define them.
This is true. And I have seen the one, the evil one. You have seen him too.
Indeed. He is the threat.
And decide what we must do.
Let's have a warm meal. We've been on the road for days. Come inside.
All right. I remember how we met. So I will.
All right. Clark,
And goes in, goes lion.
Clark, you got anything final you want to tell anybody?
What's that?
Pike will have any last bits of things he wants to tell or talk to or game out before we quit for the evening?
No, I'll just say he'll just show I got a map of about where we're going.
That's great.
I think I got any other information that's that relevant.
The
And mentioned the 3 captains. We got about 3 choices on ships, I believe. Jonas, he's the most respectable I've heard, but whether he'll take us here, I'm not sure. Hood, he'll do anything for coin, but I don't know if we can trust him. And some guy named Nick, he's supposed to be alright.
He said,
We need more information on these islands, I think.
Guy says money talks and bullshit walks.
The Praetor is aware of the giants, but didn't offer any exact locations.
Show me these ship lords, these... What? You talk to them like you're subservient. No! They serve me and you. They serve coin. Show me these buffoons.
Who are you talking about?
These boat owners. Ha! Boat owners.
It's gotta be Guy talking, right?
Yes, it's Guy. Show me these boat owners. Ugh. Show them a platinum coin and watch them piss on the deck. I'll show you something. Show me these buffoons.
What did you learn today, Guy?
That they don't know what's happening in the north. And they're going to send a force to the north, so they say. So they say. But I agree. We need to go to these islands. We need to take this fight to them.
time to move forward.
Yes. If we wait, that we surrender all objectivity.
Well, Sister Finesse says, please don't be rude to the men that own the boats that we wish to hire.
Rude, my lady. Your definition of rude and my definition of respect are very different.
Well, yes, those are very different ideas.
Let me speak to them, my lady, in my way. And just understand. I won't kick them or beat them or strike them. But they'll...
But the disdain in your voice just now, if you represent ourselves that way, we're not likely to get a deal. If you go storming in and show me these boat people, fools, degenerates.
A soft voice will not move an ass, but a swift kick will.
The
Coin will.
The seafarers tend to make their own facts, so you might want to think about that.
Let me speak to these buffoons. You treat them the way they want to be treated. Let me treat them the way they should be.
I may not be a smart man, but I know what bad ideas are.
Yeah. I'm not the most charming one in the world, but even I don't better than this.
Get our boat.
You're gonna have us swimming at that rate.
What did your commander say when you reported?
This is a republic, and they serve the republic, or they don't. That's my view of it. If they don't serve the republic, then who do they serve? Yes. Let me speak to them. That's all I ask. I won't kick them or beat them or strike them. Just let me speak to them. Let me show...
Sister Finesse again says, I don't think that's the best idea. I think we let the Master Dwarf deal with the business dealings. He seems to be well equipped for it. You, sir, a mighty warrior, but a ill negotiator, if I may say so.
My lady, I bow. My lady.
All right, 9 o'clock. Time to go. We'll pick up with the conversation in the inn in a week.
All right.
Yay! Excellent game. Yay.
Fun stuff.
I hope
Cobb, I might like to suggest that you take a Sharpie to that map. It would bring it out a little better, I think, on the camera.
Right.
Or is it already?
I can see most of it, but the little tiny, like that's why I say, like, put a piece where we're standing. I like to know, because I can see most of it, but like when you say the bell towers, I don't know the red dots. I don't see any red dots. If you could put a penny down for the bell towers, that'd be great.
Well, there's only, you mean the clock towers, you mean?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you can't really
I
see.
think that's important.
I would just need better cameras, probably.
No, I know it from my drawings. It's white with black on it, and there's no definition. And
It just needs to be a bolder line, because I can see the lines, but not...
Sometimes the light is too much. Like when I read, sometimes less light is better.
You can probably try changing the angle of the camera to the relative to the map.
If I took a picture of that, I could zone in on everything. But just like watching, it's not as neat.
He sent that picture before, but I didn't go back far enough to find it.
Yeah, but like just when we're sitting here playing, I can't like zoom in and be like, oh, okay. But we don't need that yet. Thank you, everybody. I love this game. It's great fun.
Yep, I enjoyed myself.
Yes, it is. All right,
Clark,
then.
enjoy playing with you, Clark.
I think, sir.
We'll see you next
See you
week.
next week, fellas.
Hey!
Good night, Internet.